Clobberin time!
Atomic batteries to power. Turbines to speed.
Roger. Ready to move out.
It's clobberin' time! Clobberanimo!
Yeah. Hey, welcome everyone. The Clobberin Times issue number 542 on YouTube, 1,242 overall, and Clobby's Clubhouse number 74 with the most wonderful first officer in the fleet. And the I'm sorry. And the greatest chief engineer of all time, Mark D with a C.
Hey everyone, how's it going? Yep, good to see everyone here in the chat. Already rocking.
Thanks, thank you both for being here with me tonight. Thank you all my good friends who are here with us in the chat, out there lurking or watching later on a download or a rerun, or rewatch, whatever the hell they call it. Oh my goodness, we're gonna have some fun tonight, folks. Cannot wait. First, of course, let me introduce the already aforementioned wonderful, fantastic first officer, the wonderful Commander R.M. Briggs. Thank you for being here tonight.
Thank you for having me. I love you, boss. I'd like to say hail to the chat. Also, hail to all of my Patreon subs. Sean Carter from Mars, Cardinal Sin, Shooter, Larry, Tony Stark, Chris Persia, Scuba, Pete, Eric Kate, and Kirby, Enigmatic Dropper, Michael and Cassandra Beacom, Mark D with a C, Jill, and Maximum Redstone. I'd also like to say hail to the wrenches. Hail to Clobberanimo.
Love it. Nicely done. And Mark D with AC. What's up, dude? Thanks for being here.
Yeah, glad to be here. Always look forward to Thursday night at the clubhouse. We had a fun watch party just before this, and we finally figured out which episode to watch. So we watched Survival. We'll get into that later. But also, I hit 600 subs, so I want to thank everyone. Yay! You guys especially for helping. Yep.
And a lot of watch hours.
A lot of watch hours too, but thank you to everyone in the chat who's been so awesome. And yeah, it's just a great time hanging out, but it's always nice to hit those milestones. So and I also did set up a Patreon too, so I can buy more action figures. So not that anyone needs to or has to, but if you're so inclined, you know, what the heck. But so I figured I'd set that up too. So yeah, but
Mark
I hope, and I'm going to offer
a need for speed. Mark has a need for merch.
Yes.
Yeah, so we're gonna do the Doomsday machine that I printed of a photo of that on. You can do a coffee mug on there, and then a sticker and a couple of things. So, and I'm gonna do some 3D prints and things. So, hopefully offer some special things on the Patreon. So
Get out
you
of
know,
town.
yeah. So and it's just a another fun way to connect, right, Raquel? You've been having fun on your Patreon too, and it's great
It's
to
so,
get
I know it's
support for an author
crazy,
like
right?
you.
Like you think to yourself, okay, this is really 1600s. This is really 1700s. This is like really 1800s. I have patrons. This is so cool. But it's an odd thing when people just come to you and say, look, like I want more of this stuff that you're doing, and the world's making it impossible for you to do it. So just go ahead, and we'll all get together and we'll help you. And it's been an amazing experience. It makes me so excited every month. And you know how, like, I warned everyone that with everything that's going on with the book launch, that I wouldn't have time to meet my story deadline. You guys, I think I'm going to meet my story deadline for this
Ah.
There you
month.
go.
So I'm keeping all of these amazing people who are supporting my work happy. And you know what, Mark? I'm going to tell you something right now. I never thought in a million years I would have a Patreon account. But after everyone told me to do it, and I gave in and I did it, I am so happy that I listened to everyone and that I got this going on for myself. It's a
That's good. Yeah.
wonderful way to connect to people and to get stuff made and done that you can't get made and done elsewhere. And so I'm very excited for you, and good luck in your endeavor. And of course, you know I'll be there to support you.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, well, you don't have to, but much appreciated. Yeah, so it is fun to. I mean, the technology, this is kind of like Star Trek technology. We keep saying, but to be able to do these things through the magic of the internet, and if you'd gone, 50 years ago, and someday I'll be sitting at my desk and be able to, have a TV. That's what they would have called it, a TV, not a monitor, and sit there and talk to other people and have in commerce and all kinds of interactions.
Yeah, but even 2 or 3 years ago, think about this.
Yeah.
CLOBBY'S been monetized so that we finally have a virtual comic book shop that we can just walk in. Anyone can just walk in to the virtual comic book shop. And there's the boss standing behind the counter, ready to talk to us about new comics and old comics and popular culture. Now you're going to be on Patreon making all of the beautiful things, from things like a Star Trek, the original series, like the Doomsday Machine, that people can't get elsewhere. And the corporations have taken over story writing, and people want episodic fiction. And now here I am writing episodic fiction for them. It's so hard to wrap your head around. I mean, it's like 2-3 years ago, I couldn't imagine the three of us doing this. So it's great. Anyway, we need to shut up because Clobby has to do the shout outs.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, well, show notes and shout outs. I was unprepared, so let's see here. How about show notes first?
Okay, you do it, boss.
All righty. Let's see here. Up, and here. What we got going on? All right, everybody. Show notes. Saturday afternoon, I'll be on the great Paulie's Latino Slants great channel, 1 p.m. Central Standard Time. He wants to talk. He's doing a fundraiser, and he wants the topic to be about DC, the upcoming DC universe, movies, different comics, different things like that. So I've agreed to go on there. I'm a good buddy Paulie's channel. Like I say, midday Central Time, 1 p.m. On there, and I'll put the links out there when it comes time to do so. And then, of course, don't forget, everyone, Saturday night Star Trek.
Dun, 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 dun.
The usual time, 9 p.m. Central Standard Time, same Trek time, same Clobby channel. We're ending season 5 of Star Trek Deep Space Nine, only reviewing 2 episodes, and then we will take an overview look at the season entire.
Nice.
And talk about best, worst, and have some friends pop in, perhaps, if they can make it, and just have a bit of fun, as we always
The
do
good,
on Saturday
the
night.
bad, and the ugly.
Very, very ugly. Yes, so that should be lots of fun. Oh, it always is on Saturday nights, and we thank you all who show up for that. Then, of course, Mark, of course, always has the Sunday Night Geekery that I enjoy hanging out with him on there. That's 10 p.m. Eastern. And then Monday night, Mark's Comics Talk, 9 p.m. Central, as always. My good buddy Loki will be joining me for another DC animation review. This time, the DC animated film, Justice League: A Crisis on Two Earths. I always enjoy reviewing animated films with my buddy Loki. And then a week from then, in other words, in 2 weeks on Monday Night March Comics Talk, I will be counting down my top 25 favorite episodes of the Justice League / Justice League Unlimited animated series, the animated masterpiece from the 2000s, the Bruce Timm versus DC, this unbelievably great cartoon that is just one of the best things ever made. And, it's tough picking my only 25 of them, but gonna do it. The top, because gosh darn it, somebody has to. And actually, nobody has to, but I just thought I would do it anyway. Nobody really has to do it. But what the hell? But that never stops me, right? So let's see here. Let's do some shout about. We always start out by shouting out our fantastic wrenches, whether they be here or not, and I haven't got a chance to take a look at the chat to be sure. Going to shout them out because we love them. They do so much for us. And I guess that all starts with the great Bronze Wrencher Eric K. Yeah, buddy.
And
the puppy.
Kirby! Don't forget to put cheese in the chat for Kirby.
The great Vindicator Wrench of the North, Chris Persia, buddy.
Yay!
Thanks for all you do, man.
Thank you so much, sweetheart. Hello. Thank you so much for the beautiful show poster for this evening. Love, love, love you. Mwah.
Always. The great D. Bud Martin, the Wrench of Iron.
D. Bud Martin.
Good to see you there, buddy. Appreciate you so much. The great Lord Thoth, Chief of Security. And, of course, his wonderful better half, the amazing Lady Thoth. Avon lives, long live the Legion, sir. And, of course, shout out to their new little puppy.
Sir Lancethoth.
What a little cutie. Oh, my goodness. I want that
More
puppy.
cheese. More cheese, please.
My partner in crime on Earth B. The great J-Man, the Wrench Without Fear. Man, what a great time we've been having. I was very honored to be on his channel this past Tuesday night with he and the great friend Sean. A lot of fun talking some real deal Captain Marvel. Thank you guys for that. And always
J-Man.
I'll be on soon. He'll be on soon again with another trip to Earth B. The master of the Clubbooni. Hungry boy.
The genius painter, the genius artist atop the Clubbooni.
Yes, indeed. I hope you are out there and doing well, buddy.
He's here, and he has a fabulous new handle. Hungry for UFO to never suffer a reboot.
That's a wonderful sentiment right there with you. Kal-El, Super Wrench, buddy.
The real soup.
The wheels of Reach Mjolnir. Thor from Vegas, Maddie's daddy.
Thor in Vegas.
And that old rascal himself, Fanty Outsidey, Wrenchy. And let's see who is up in here with us this evening. Let me back the chat up so we can say our proper hellos to all of our friends who are here with us, joining us tonight, because we really love having you. Big shout out to all who are lurking. We thank you so much for those who lurk, and again, those listening to this later on a download or a rewatch or however you want to call it. Thank you. Matt G's here tonight. Matt G. Hey, buddy. The great Stuart Mitchell. Hello.
Dolly Heart Braces.
Simply Steve 68. Hey.
Simply Steve.
What's up, buddy? Dave G Sound.
Dave G Sound. Not just another body of water.
That's right. Indeed. The great JT Kirk. I am Kirk. Let's see here.
Happy birthday to Kirok.
Yes, that was yesterday, but we talked a lot about chat. And we're going to talk a little bit about chat in a minute. Maximum Red Stew.
Maximum Limericks.
The maximum one of the Limerick. The man of the Limerick. Gogly Jatoon. Hello there.
Gogly.
Michael Beacom. And
Michael
shout out
Beacom and Cassandra Beacom.
Shout out to that lovely better half, Cassandra. Let's see here. Hang on a second. Claude Selling. Hey.
Claude Selling.
Keely Chow. Roll Tide, buddy.
Roll Tide, baby.
Hang on. Let's see if we got anybody else. Hang on. Herc 130. Captain Infinity and Beyond, the master of time. He is the time police. And we love this man. He keeps us all in a straight, linear time fashion. He does not allow any screwing around with the timelines. He is the time. He's not just the time lord. He's the time cop. He's the time judge.
He is.
Straightened me out last night.
He's the time god.
Did you get out of line?
Well, he just set me straight. Yeah.
Oh,
so
no.
I got to make approved by the Captain Infinity Time Variance Authority sticker.
Oh, you need a sticker or a button. I believe it's a day course. You take it. It's for credit, and then you get a
Right.
parchment and a button at the end.
Yeah.
Indeedishness. He is Timicus Maximus. That's my Captain Infinity is Timicus Maximus. That is his new title, Captain Infinity, and I love never changed from Captain Infinity. That's the perfect name, of course. I think he should be crowned Timicus Maximus.
Didn't he start as Captain Hipster Spock?
Yeah, but those are other days. He
evolved. Yep.
He evolved into a higher life form, and he is now Captain Infinity and Beyond. And of course, he has achieved his maximum in evolution, Timicus Maximus.
It's true. It's true.
Let's see here. Donnie Pearson. Hey, buddy.
Good evening, Donnie Pearson.
Rangers. Go Power Rangers. The great Pat S. What's up, dude?
Yeah, I was this week old when I learned that Donnie Pearson is young enough to be my child. I had no idea.
That means he's definitely young enough to be my child.
Yes.
Couldn't tell by his typing.
No, we had a discussion about like him growing up on the Power Rangers and how much he loved it and how like good always triumphs over evil. And so somebody put up on the internet, if you could choose to live in any television show or film, what would you choose? And everybody knew what I chose. But Donnie started talking about Power Rangers.
But yeah, he's a big Power Rangers fan.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed. We appreciate it. Always love having Donnie stop by. Donnie is a good, dear friend of the show. We're glad to see you, Donnie. DJ Ronnie G.
DJ Ronnie G.
John Rupus. John Shaggy Rupus.
Shaggy?
Yes. Matthew Pounder. What's up, my buddy?
Matthew
All right,
Pounder.
man. Hey, look who's here. The Cardinal Sin Cardi. What's up, buddy? Thank you for the $1.99 super sticker. That is very, very kind of you, my friend. And it's good to see. Hope you're doing well, Cardi.
Don't forget to follow Cardinal Sin.
Please follow the great Cardinal Sin. Let's see here. Hang on. I'm trying to make sure we got everybody up in here.
Did you get Pat S?
Invasion on yeah.
Did you get Captain James T. Skywalker?
Now you just did. I'm getting there. But Captain James T. Skywalker. Hey. Let's see. I'm still don't have the. Let's see. Trying to keep it so I don't miss anybody here. Ooh,
new person just walks through the door and sent you.
Okay, I'm on my way. On my way there. Getting there.
You got to use your Cajun accent. I absolutely love your Cajun accent.
I don't know what you. I don't know what you mean, Shell.
When you're like, up in here.
Up in here. Death Ray.
Death Ray,
all out attack. Thank you.
All so out attack.
Thank you for that super sticker, my good friend.
Cool sticker.
Is it?
Let me see if I can show that's.
What the heck is it?
I can't describe it. It looks like a Nintendo control, some kind of game controller. But let me.
Dave!
Is Dave here?
Yes.
Hey, Dave. Dave. Oh, I didn't see Dave. There. No, he didn't. Sometimes it takes the StreamYard a minute, I guess. I didn't see
Yeah,
Dave.
here's the. Hey, Dave.
Okay.
Here's the.
Oh,
zoom in a little bit.
cool.
See how cute
Thanks,
that is.
thank you, Death Ray.
Oh,
Love it,
it's a
man.
little game
Appreciate you.
controller.
Little
Yeah.
game controller. There we go. Yep.
Okie
Very
dokie.
cute.
Aw.
Very nice. Thank you. Thank you kindly, sir. Thank you kindly.
Right, Hungry Boy?
Oh.
I totally agree. It's like, yeah,
I
it's
will
the best.
Naturally, we will shout out any other friends who pop in and accordingly as it happens. And but we're great to. It's just great to see you all here with us tonight, man. I hope you're all doing wonderfully on this just eve of the weekend here. We're looking forward to a big weekend. What do we got going on this weekend? Oh, it's just a normal weekend. Weekend after next will be the weekend for that'll be coming up on April 1st. And I'm going to a con on April 1st that Saturday. So,
April Fools?
April Fool's Day and a con the same day.
Wow.
A Saturday. Yeah. So just a day, day. We're going to a day thingy.
Well, have fun. Are you going to wear a GoPro?
Oh, I don't know what that
The
is.
Clobby wouldn't be able to operate a go.
I don't know what that is.
I'd like to just
Guess
put it
not.
on top of his hat. Could you imagine seeing the world, seeing a con through Clobby's eyes?
Yeah.
People would pay admission for that.
I'd pay see it through someone else's eyes personally. Yep. Oh, what's that, Mark? Was that a Charger from John Wick 3? I don't know what he's asking.
Oh yeah,
you.
that's the Mustang, 69 Mustang from
Charger
John
from
Wick
it.
3.
Okay.
It's a Mustang.
Okay.
Yep.
What's he referring to?
Well, the screen background I had on because when we did John Wick, and I love Mustang, so I left that. I usually have my Star Trek background flipping through, but I've had that Mustang for a while. So, classic, gorgeous car that unfortunately gets destroyed in John Wick, but hopefully it's going to be back in the new John Wick 4. So,
I hear John Wick 4 opened today. I hear that Captain Kennedy said, "Hungry, we must make a Timus Maximus stamp of approval for stories like 12 Monkeys and Sitting the Edge of Forever that get time travel right." There you go. I'm right there with you. So yeah, was it John Wick 4 opened up today? And I saw the first 3 in theaters. I don't know if I'm going to go. I hear it's 3 hours long.
wow, 3 hours?
There's a 4-hour cut that were mercifully cut it to just over 3 hours, from what I understand.
Each movie gets longer then. Wow.
And I've heard someone say it's just like one big fight with an occasional interruption, which makes sense. I mean, again, I don't know, man. It's like watching somebody play a video game. I don't hate them or anything. I thought the first movie was kind of okay, but it's just and it's just more of a fun criticism. It's not really meant to be to insult the movies or anything. But like I said, when I watch these movies, he's slaughtering people by the thousands. So if I'm like guy 1015 and I'm seeing the all guys in front of me getting whipped, I know they're going to get inevitably shot in the face. I'm probably going to go, guys, I'm going to keep moving back in line. I'm going to go, you guys, I'm right behind you guys.
No, you have to do what you and I always say behind the scenes, off camera and beyond earshot of the broadcast. Okay, bye.
Yeah, I'll let you guys handle this, okay? Hey, Larry, what's up, buddy?
Larry! A man so nice, you ought to say his name thrice. Larry!
Yeah, so
well, they did actually do. He did do that with one guy in one of the movies. He said, "Why don't you take the night off?" Or one of the bad guys says, infers something bad is going to happen, and why don't you leave for the evening? He's like, "Thank you, sir."
Yeah, I think I'm gonna not. I'm not. I don't think I need to get shot in the face that bad. So, but hey, they're paying you. Yeah, they're paying you to get shot in the face.
No thanks.
I don't think so.
Bye.
I mean, how much is it paying to get shot in the face and dead? Because he didn't just shoot you in the face. After that, he really kills you.
Yeah.
So.
And he triple taps you to the head too, so you're not coming back as a zombie. Yep.
Nobody was really good though. Nobody felt more like it was like John Wick with a brain. Again, I like I love Keanu, saying it was actually more substance to it because there were more stakes. It seemed like he wasn't perfect, but it was the same story, basic story. In a lot of ways. But anyway,
sounds violent to me.
Violent.
Death Ray all out attack says John Wick has become a superhero just like Rambo did back in the day. Yeah. I would just like to say, Death Ray all out attack. That my husband tried to get me to watch this new Rambo movie that came out. It's like a brand new one. And
The last one?
Yeah,
The one in Mexico?
I made it about 2 minutes into the movie before I was like, I cannot watch this. This is horrible.
You should not be watching. I saw it. I hated that movie.
Lost for Words.
Lost for Words. I don't know if we
Lost for Words.
I don't know if we've had the pleasure of, but Lost for Words. Thank you for the 199-pound super sticker. Welcome and Lost for Words. It's great to see you. I don't know if you've been here before.
Nice to meet you. Please
Nice
feel
to meet
free
you,
to join into the chat. Join in the chat, and everyone here is super friendly, and that is very generous and very kind of you.
Absolutely, thank you so much. So I hated that last Rambo movie, and it was like watching it was like a Saw movie or something, which I don't watch those either. So I can't believe he tried to get you to watch that. Did he know what he was getting into?
He was laughing the whole time because he knew that I wouldn't last. So he was like doing his like belly giggle, and so he was
trying
like,
to mess with you.
Yeah, he was just messing with me, and then he laughed for like a half an hour after when I made him shut off.
Captain Kennedy says, right. Timus Maximus, thank you, Clubby. I tweeted out the news already. Business cards are next. No, you've earned it, sir.
That's great.
You are official Timus Maximus. Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, the Rambo movie I really liked was the one before last. Is it Rambo 4? Or that was
that yeah, from 2008 or something.
That was
lots of
movie,
killing.
But not, it's not for you to watch, Raquel, but it was a very, very well done movie.
Yeah, but it's one thing when it's killing, like when it's fights, when he's running around shooting, having shootouts with people and all that stuff. I don't care about that kind of violence. The last Rambo movie, he lured in a bunch of guys and slaughtered them.
Terrible.
But it wasn't even like fights or anything. It wasn't fighting. He was just old, so he knew he was too old to do anything. So he just lured a bunch of dudes in and whacked them to death. It's like,
well, they picked on the wrong person, but
Larry
gifted 5 Clobbering Times memberships.
Oh,
what?
Thank you, Larry.
Larry, I love you.
Larry has gifted some memberships.
Oh, okay. Larry, you weren't here earlier. Guess what? I believe I'm going to make, I have a March story ready. So all systems go.
And Lost for Words had the thumbs up sign. So thanks again, Lost for Words.
Indeed. Thank you so much, Larry. And thank you, Lost for Words. Appreciate you. So let's see here what we got before we get down to any set business tonight. As you all know, yesterday was the birthday of one of the most important names in all of Star Trek. I mean, right up there with the Roddenberry is the William Shatner. Mm-hmm. And we just love this man. We love that wonderful character he played that no one else should ever have a claim to playing but him. J-Man!
Yeah. J-Man!
Oh, J-Man
said, definitely not a mantle. Definitely not a suit. There's only one Bill. He's a cutie patootie. He's adorbs. And I loved him with his cupcake from today. He's such a cutie patootie. And you know what? He looks younger and younger every day.
Well, someone did find a picture of him riding on one of those little scooter thingies at a con.
Oh yeah.
that they, that people, of his age usually ride. So, but he's the Kirk. He is the Kirk.
That's nice.
Oh my goodness.
Where'd you get that?
Bought that about 20 years ago in a comic book store.
If you're listening in like a radio show, if you're in your car, or you just passively listen to us while you do chores or do other things, Mark just put up a very lovely figure. I don't think this is an action figure. I think it's a statue.
Correct.
Of Captain James T. Kirk. He's quite young.
Where No Man Has Gone Before.
It is Where No Man. And it looks beautiful.
Oh yeah, it's one of my favorite statues, especially because you only get to see that phaser rifle in that episode. So and of course that's where it all started for James Tiberius
James
Kirk,
R. Kirk. James R. Kirk by accident.
Yes, on the headstone. unfortunately.
Jackson Royker. This is fantastic, dude.
Well, telepathy isn't always 100%, guys.
Yeah.
Come on, guys.
But Mitchell knew who he was.
Yeah, well, you know.
Mitchell screwed up. Unless he had, that was like him making a dig at him because he used to call him something else as a joke,
Junior.
you know? Or like he used to call him James Rat or some kind of, you know.
Yeah.
Get that off of there.
Get that
You
off.
crazy?
My dad made that for me because I when I was writing my name Mark, for some
Uh-huh.
reason I couldn't do the R. So
Aw.
he made an R for me. So
Good
I
night,
still have
J-Man.
it.
Good night, J-Man.
Night,
Everyone,
buddy.
please follow J-Man. J-Man is a marvelous horror author. His wife writes poetry. He has his own YouTube channel. He's a part of our circle. We really love Jason and Sean and just everyone affiliated with J-Man. So please follow J-Man to the end. Follow the string. Follow the breadcrumbs, and hop on his Twitter and then hop on his Amazon store where he is selling his books. I would really appreciate it because he's a very kind person who is very supportive of everyone in this community, especially indie creators and makers.
Indeedishness. Well, yep. Always good to see you, buddy. Can't wait to see you again soon. So let's see here.
That's a nice statue.
Yeah, the R is unacceptable at that point.
Yeah, you need to take that down.
What's wrong with you?
What's wrong with you?
Oh, what in the hell's wrong with you?
Come on,
Gary
boy.
was bewildered by Spinoza, and therefore his thoughts went to R instead of T. Just happened.
Yep.
It was a terrible thing.
Rascal Kirk. He probably called him Rascal.
Yes, James Ratfink Kirk.
Yeah. Yeah. Man, they called it a stack.
But you know
of
when you
local
go,
legs.
you know when you go to a comic book shop too. You've been to one or two Clobbering times, but
I think so.
and you see something every day, and you're like, I should buy that. I want to buy. You know,
Yeah, 'cause it had to be
I'll
pricey.
wait, and then sometimes they disappear. The item disappears too, and you're like Silver Surfer #1. I should have bought for like $150, even
Ooh,
though.
wow. Yeah. that's
Well,
a
this
good
is
price.
20, 30 years.
No, that's
I don't
still
know
a
what the
pretty good
grading
price.
was, but you know how you like, I should have bought it, should have bought it, and you didn't. What did Larry say?
I'm sorry, it's just funny.
You got a
Gary
heavy
Mitchell
ending?
got a heavy ending.
Oh, he did.
Not a happy ending. A heavy
You didn't
ending.
pay-
It was a
you
very
didn't
great
pay extra
scene.
for that.
It was a grave ending.
A great ending.
The
Club
grave
it.
ending.
Sorry.
Well, that's a gooder.
That was a
No.
gooder. Oh, the dad jokes abound. Okay, what were you
Stoned-
saying, Mark?
stoned in
Focus.
his own
Focus. I have to
tube.
focus.
That's all right. No, that was a good. That was worth it. Yeah. No, just when you go into the shop and you're like, I don't know if I can afford it, but I should buy it. And then if you don't buy it, then you eternally regret it sometimes too. Like, well, the Enterprise Hallmark ornament that I never bought in 91 or 92 because I didn't have enough money. You're like, oh, I'll just get it later. There'll be plenty of them. Be no problem to get, and that's still the most valuable one. The one that Robert Meyer Burnett had in Free Enterprise that his character's girlfriend took from him or stole from him. So
Yeah.
Oh, we got another great dad
What
joke
is it?
here.
Warrior of Justice.
Warrior of Justice.
Thank you for being here. I appreciate it. Have we seen Warrior of Justice here before? Not sure, but welcome to Clobbering Times, and thank you so much for your generous super chat. Your due kindness. What is Captain Kirk's least favorite nut? Oh wow,
Oh,
pecan. Oh my,
that's a great one.
Pecan!
that is so good that you deserve. You definitely deserve a call out for that.
All right.
Thank you, Warrior of Justice. Really
Thank you,
appreciate
Warrior of
that.
Justice. We really appreciate it. And
Yes,
HB
indeed.
says, "Hey, Mark, I like how you positioned Raquel's book right in view." And so I just want to say, HB, yeah, isn't he a marvelous friend? Mark is just, I don't even know how to thank him. He's a
Oh,
sweetheart.
come on.
I didn't
Yeah,
do that.
thank you. Yeah. Wasn't you? That was Khan. Yeah.
Sorry.
Hey, everyone, check out Raquel. You always got it's subliminal advertising, right?
Seriously,
Why
Mark,
do
did
I-
you do that?
why-
Because I want to make sure I didn't.
No, I didn't do it. No.
Oh,
that
crap.
wasn't-
Sorry, then it was me by accident. I was moving it. Sorry.
Oh, you're moving it? Yeah.
I was actually
Removes
saying
the
it seriously. I
con.
didn't think I did.
No, it
Oh,
wasn't
well,
me. No.
first time. Well, oh, well, oh, well, thank you, well, Warrior of Justice. It's great to meet you.
Nice. And this is
Thank you for being
Clobber
here.
Lane.
Clobber Lane, indeed. This is as opposed to Clubber Lane.
As opposed to
Yeah.
Clubber Lane.
Yeah.
Clobber Animal!
Well, anyway, yeah, this is great. And of course, again, this is a little day after celebrating for the birthday of the great James T. Cut. But that is a fantastic statue. Love it.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite things. So it's in a shelf in my office, keeping me safe from all those changelings or Klingons that might come into my
beautiful.
office.
Yeah, perfect.
I'll just
Love
leave
it.
that up
Love
as
it,
my,
love Me as well.
my avatar. Yeah.
And what's my second favorite TOS episode of all time?
Your second? I know your first. Is this your second?
Sure is.
Oh, I didn't know you had your number two. Well, great. Because it's been a while since we did our countdown of those. But yeah, well, I love it. I mean, where no man has gone before is great stuff. Great episode.
The Star Trek was all downhill once you watched the first 2 episodes. Just kidding.
No.
That's how I found out about Spinoza. That's why I studied Spinoza. That's why I bought Spinoza and studied Spinoza. So it actually had a life. It was where no man actually was a life altering experience for me. It literally changed my entire life.
My relationship with Spinoza was a little different. He's a guy that I went to school with by the name of, I think, Tony Spinoza, and that's what I thought that meant when Kirk said that. Saw it later. I thought that's who he was talking about. A guy I went to school with. Sorry, I'm not kidding. There was a guy with that name. I'm not kidding.
Really?
Warriors of Justice. Oh, thank you for the other one. Says Y10 was afraid it was the middle of. Why was 10 afraid it was the middle of 9/11?
Aw.
I don't know. I'm not sure. Why 10 was afraid? Why was 10 afraid? Maybe that it was the middle of. I don't know.
Oh, 7, 8, 9.
I know it's in the middle of the. Okay. It's
6 is afraid of 7 because 7, 8, 9. Can you do me a favor, please, Mark?
Yes.
I don't think Stuart Mitchell was here.
Thank you so much, Warren.
Can you do a Mondo favor?
Sure.
Can you please show the bottle opener and that pen that I want?
Oh, sure, we'll do. Yeah.
That came with the Funko Pop, because Stuart Mitchell, Dolly had braces, is saying a con Funko Pop. So I don't think he's.
Yeah, we'll show it. Yep.
He didn't get to see that.
Definitely show it.
9, 10, 11. Thank you, Warrior of Justice. Oh, thank you. 9, 10. I got you. Thank you so much.
JT Kirk.
I'm old, Warrior.
Your agonizer, please.
Yes.
And we got a member chat.
Yeah, you can put JT Kirk through the agonizer for that one.
Raquel's second favorite is "And the Children Shall Lead." Yes. Wow, I didn't know that was your second favorite episode.
Well, she loves the ditty in it.
Hail, fire and brimstone.
Agonizer, please.
Oh man. Well, what's up? What were you showing us?
Yes, please. Yeah.
Okay, hang on.
Stuart, you still there, sweetheart?
Stuart
this is
Mitchell
what he got
this?
with that horrifically bad Funko Pop. He actually got some goody goodies with it.
They get a bottle opener here.
Love
That's
that.
pretty sweet.
Beautiful. Although the SETI over the Delta makes no sense. And then the other goody goody. goody. Gorge. I would wear that every day on my lapel, right by my Delta, on my suit jacket, teaching.
And of course you have
Perfect.
a pop.
No, don't show that.
Oh, he's cute.
No, he's not.
Look, who's gonna win? The Gorn, the Gorn, or the?
You know what? You know
Khan?
what Gorn wins? Your other Gorn, your sexy Gorn. Show the best Gorn ever made. Where's the best Gorn ever made?
Yeah, right here.
Huh?
Yep.
Where is it? Show it. There you
Show
go.
it.
There's the best Gorn ever made. Clubby,
Yeah,
Clubby, we need some Gorn voice.
I am the greatest Gorn of all time. I shall be merciful, Captain. Actually, I'm lying, of course. I'm of the Addams family. I am the greatest. This show should be about me. I'll kill that stupid human.
I love it. Love it.
Warrior
Perfection. Perfection. Chef's kiss. Mwah! Perfection.
Warrior
Yeah,
of
so-
Justice, who is new here, so ask a question, fair. Hello, J25. Good to see you. my friend.
J25.
How many dates does a priest get? None. Like, yep, good one. CLOBBERIN, what is your favorite Star Trek character? My favorite character, Warrior, funny you should ask, is not one human being, not one being, but is the triumvirate, the trinity between Kirk, Spock, and McCoy. Being a biggest fan of the original series, the most of all, I love the character of Kirk, but I love Spock, but I love McCoy. I consider them in a sense to be one character. You can't break off any piece, and it's just not the same. Especially as portrayed by these actors, and I just love them. So to me, you know, it's a weird answer because I would probably just say Kirk, but I love Spock and I love McCoy. So they're one character to me in a
Good
sense.
call,
So
boss.
I
Good
cheat
call,
and say the
boss.
Trinity. Thank you.
Yep.
They're the best, aren't they? I mean, what is
They
there
are.
a better trio in any of fiction anywhere?
And I just wanted to let everyone know that J25 is certain that the Gorn does not skip leg day.
That's for sure. Yeah.
I don't have to do cardio either on my planet. Why am I shorter than this human? It's embarrassing. Get me off here.
Right.
Who mourns Adonis? That's what happened to Kirk. Poor Gorn. He's trapped in the wrong episode.
Oh, wow. What do you call an engineer's mate with no arms on a swing? Peter Preston, knock, knock. Oh, wow.
Too soon.
No. No.
Always too soon.
No. No.
Yes, Stuart Mitchell, I had a bunch of those photo novels, including The Day of the Duff one. Those were great.
I want those photo novels ever
Those
since
were amazing.
Minimus showed them to me. Minimus.
Now, there was the original ones, and there were the ones that Byrne did later, of course.
Yeah, I want the OG.
Oh, yeah. Well, you know, those were from episodes, some of the OG ones.
Mm-hmm.
What
Yeah, that's
Byrne
right,
did was
yeah.
what Byrne did was he photoshopped pictures from the show to do his own little stories, which is fine. I mean, they were okay, but yeah.
I have a couple of those.
Oh yeah, cool.
They're not cheap.
No, they're not. $10 a pop.
Yeah. Well, no more in Canada, baby.
Oh,
I
okay.
forget how much they are in
It's a
Canada.
fickel.
They're right behind me. Let me go check. I'll be right back.
Why did Captain Kirk's wife smell? Because William Shatner shat on her. I'll get my coat. Whoa, that's bad, boy. The Gorn episode.
The Gorn episode will always be my favorite, says John. Well, you have good taste there, human. I will let you live and be merciful to you.
No, you're right, boss.
Yeah,
They're
yeah.
$10, even in Canada.
Okay. Well, I was figuring there were $10 here, so there wouldn't be that. Usually it's about a buck more
Yeah.
compared to our
I don't even
local
know
prices.
how many of those do I have, boss. I
They
must
did a
have
ton
showed
of them now. Where'd you get them?
I got them at a comic book store.
They were there in the prestige format. They're in the
Yeah.
He did a sequel to Where No Man Has Gone Before. He's done some mirror ones. He did a bunch. I bought a few and then just kind of it was doing so many of them. It's like he stopped drawing. He just started playing with his Photoshop.
Yeah.
They just kind of stopped after a while.
Yeah. Well, I bought those
Okay.
back when the Filth first came out.
Yeah, they've been out.
So-
They used to come out for a while. Yeah.
I walked in the comic book shop and I said, "Do you have anything Star Trek that isn't the Filth?" And the guy started laughing.
Did he know what filth was? You had to tell him, of course.
Well, I just said I don't want any of the new. And I said lots of swear words. And he's like, well, I have this stuff. And he brought me over and showed that to me. And yeah.
Yep.
I bat him.
Of
That was
course.
a long time ago. That's when the filth very first came out.
The filth.
2009, right? Yeah.
Mhm.
So, shall we start with our first
Heck yes.
Of course, as we all know, folks, we just kind of wing it here. We mostly fly by the seat of our pants, but we have some fairly regular things we like to do on CLOBBERIN Clubhouse on Thursday nights. One of them, which of course is our wonderful first officer, Raquel, has a little a recurring segment where she covers a show that she's been watching recently called Tales of Tomorrow. What if hey, Jay Picasso, good to see you.
Picasso.
What if the Gordon announces it?
Tonight, our first officer has her segment of Tales of Tomorrow.
Oh, that is stellar. That is just so beautiful. I love it. I love it. I love it.
Ouch.
Okay, folks. So yeah, I watched Tales of Tomorrow, and it has just been released to the public domain, so you can watch this anywhere, anytime. I'm in Canada, so I watch it on Tubi, and Tubi has its own specific order, but we'll get to that. And I've basically been trying to cover at least 2 episodes. And of course, the reason why I'm supporting this is I'm a huge believer in short stories. Short stories were a beautifully grand thing that happened in American culture that moved episodic fiction forward. It helped authors to basically to pitch their books. It enabled authors to publish chapters in some of our greatest works of literature. So short stories are really important. And Tales of Tomorrow takes short stories, and then they get so they buy these beautiful short stories from short story writers, and then they paid marvelous human beings to transpose, to turn them into teleplays. And so this is why I'm enamored with them. And we, believe it or not, folks, we've done quite a few. You're going to be blown away when I say this, but we're already on episode 12 as far as Tubi is concerned. We're on many happy returns. So I'll just say that one more time because I know a lot of you look it up when I say it. Many happy returns. This is season 1, episode 12, and it first aired on October 24th, 1952. Of course, if you go to the great cesspool of the internet known as IMDb, which is almost always wrong about everything, it says that it's season 2, episode 10, which may be the case either originally or perhaps in the United States or elsewhere, as this is an international show. Yes, so folks watched this for the very first time on October 24th, 1952. It was a short story written by Raymond Z. Galun, and the teleplay adaptation was by a gentleman named David Karp. And then there is a second credit for the teleplay from I believe his producer, Fred Pohl. And of course, because IMDb sucks so bad, I do a little synopsis myself because it gets too out of control if you use IMDb. Not only is it wrong, but the writing's so bad it's atrocious. So a little boy named Jack, about 12 or 13, spends his days in a cellar building a gadget with plans provided by a mysterious local handyman the boy calls Mr. White. His mother and father are kind, a typical 1950s family, and support the boy's pursuits. However, the father believes the gadget is useless, not based on science. And you can all recall this if you grew up in the 1970s or beforehand. We made a lot of things that actually worked. So the father is sort of like, well, this doesn't really work. It appears to be little more than a coil attached to meaningless bits and pieces of no special or electrical use. While the boy is at school, his father attempts to lift the coil and is electrocuted nearly to death. The boy is questioned and reveals that he hears voices. And while his parents stand before him, obviously terrified that he has schizophrenia or something of that nature, the boy says that these voices are from the moon. He explains an extensive telepathic relationship with an alien and shows them a picture. His parents are absolutely terrified when they see this image. They know that the little boy is telling the truth. They talk it out. They talk everything out that the boy has been told. They await the alien's arrival because this alien is supposed to be on its way. The father tells his son to cease all communication, but the boy, Jack, is now under the physical control of the alien and he's been forced to be mute. He can't speak. He can still communicate, and he's in control of his faculties, his own thoughts, and so on and so forth. But he's lost all physical control and can't speak. His father immediately grabs the little boy and professes his love for his son. It is absolutely beautiful. Oh, I'm actually almost going to cry. I'm talking about it, which isn't typically my way. But it is quite emotional to watch a wonderful father professing his absolute unconditional love for his son. It's such a beautiful moment. Through gestures, Jack reveals thousands of children all over the world are under control and building these machines as per the instructions of this alien. The coil, it turns out, is a transportation device. Now, I'm not going to spoil this for you, so I'm just going to say that Jack's dad, fights back, and whoa, does Jack's dad ever fight back? Jack's dad is clever, loving, kind, just so sweet, and a very powerful and intelligent man, and he fights back. And I'm not going to ruin this story for you, okay? Because you all need to watch this episode. Very, very powerful messages, extremely well-written story, obviously. I will be trying to acquire this short story from Raymond Z. Galun, beyond the teleplay adaptation, but it is just absolutely outstanding. So I give this beautiful piece of science fiction, told beautifully, a 9 out of 10, and you must watch this beautiful, beautiful story. And now I'm going to ask the boss and the chief engineer. Hey guys, did you get a chance to watch this episode this week?
Kicks for us both. I didn't, and I'm guessing
I still have
Clobbering
not
Times.
watched the show yet. I hate myself.
Okay,
I'm sorry,
right.
but I want to. I
Yeah.
never remember it. I never remember to watch it.
I tried to
I'm
remind
always
you
watching
last
other
night,
stuff. You
and
did.
I told
but
you to
it's too late.
remind me.
He actually
It was
did
too
mention
late.
it last night.
I did
We're like,
mention it
"God
last night.
damn
Yeah.
it.
God
It's too
damn it,
late now."
Mark. But this sounds like a fantastic episode. I love this
Mhm.
this premise. Yeah, it sounds really
Oh,
amazing.
I hope my Tubi has it.
you guys, you would not believe it. It's like you wonder why our generation turned out the way we did. It's the culture, like our popular culture was so different than it is today. You would not believe how much hope and joy you feel when this dignified gentleman embraces his boy and tells his boy that no one will ever love him more than he loves him, and that he is here to protect him and to nurture him, and that he adores him. It's so moving that it's difficult to talk about. And you guys have to watch this episode. It is just so good. And that's it for this one. I
Nice.
suppose I should ask, because there's really no reason for us to be here other than for you. So now I want to put it to the chat. You are the you. Have any of you read this marvelous story by Raymond Z. Galun? Or have you witnessed this gorgeous teleplay from 1952 by David Karp, Many Happy Returns? Have any of you watched this beautiful thing or read it? And if you have, please tell us about your feelings about it and any of your thoughts, the cultural impact, anything you want to say. I just want you all to know that we're here for you, to entertain you and to hear what you have to say.
DJ Ronnie G says, thank you for the super chat, DJ. He says, this is why I tune in on Thursdays. We'll watch. Oh, well, thank you. Thank you so much. Thanks so much. I mean, now this is a wonderful segment. I'm embarrassed that I haven't watched this yet. I've been meaning to want, because it's not like I don't watch much new stuff. I know you're all just shocked beyond belief. So I don't have a whole lot to watch.
Yeah.
And sometimes when I run out of things to binge, of course, lately, see, I'm very mature also. I've been doing a lot of cartoons lately. I get hooked on cartoons. Once in a while, I do find myself going, well, what do I want to watch? And I just flip around trying to think of something. And I'll land on, after looking at 40 different things, like, I'll only watch an episode of this. At least I know I love it. Or I'll see a movie I hadn't watched in 20 years. I only watch that. But for the most part, no excuse. If this would pop into mind while I'm sitting around doing that, I'll go, oh, you know what? Raquel's been talking about that, and people are really enjoying her talking about that. It's finally time I could start watching it and binging it. If Tubi here has it the same way they have it where
they'll have it. Yeah, they have it because I just found it.
It's different.
Lincoln, yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's in the public domain. So I want to tell everyone around the world, because I know we have people from all over the world here, people down under, people across the pond. You can watch it on archive.org. I know that it's for free on archive.org. I believe it's also on, I think Mark said
YouTube.
that it was on YouTube.
Yes,
you can find some of them on YouTube.
Steve
Yep.
says it's also on YouTube.
Yeah.
And the quality is not good, but you're watching this for the quality of the story, not the visual.
I just wanted to maybe talk about that for a second. So Mark showed the machine that they used. What's the machine called again?
Kinescope?
The kinescope. So some of these stories had to be turned into something digital through the kinescope.
Well, what they do, they actually film off of the TV monitor, and to back it up or to make a backup copy. So it's like a primitive way to make a VHS tape. Same, or it wasn't VHS, but to make a tape. Same way they filmed the moon landing, as I explained last week. So they had a monitor in the that was receiving the signal. And they just point a camera at it, and then they record it to the camera. So it's not, it's not the actual film negative. That's why the quality on most of these isn't that good. But it doesn't matter when you've got a great story. I know.
Well, that's just it, isn't it? It's that it. Oh, Apollome's minion and the pepperoni.
Hey, Apollo, good to see you.
Yeah.
And hey to the pepperoni.
Simi. Yeah. It doesn't matter. It's like there are sometimes even when the screen goes black and it's almost like you can see the tape. Like I'm old enough that I remember that happening at the drive-in all the time.
Yeah,
but that happens here. And our good friend Simply Steve also said that they rotoscoped these as well. I don't know what rotoscoping is, but I do.
Well, that
love
might have
it.
been for some of the creature effects.
Some of the creature effects, yes.
So that's when you have a real person and you're taking a film of it, and then you put the effect over the person in the film.
The person moving and stuff like
This
that.
is why more nerds need to hang around with geeks. I love geeks and all of the insane knowledge they possess. So there are times when it's like, if you grew up in the 70s like I did or before, you'll remember that sometimes when you would go to the drive-in that you could see the film, or there was like light and shadows in the film. That happens sometimes when you're watching Tales of Tomorrow, but it does not affect how I feel about the episodes, just because the stories are so strong. Like in modern television, you have these people who write teleplays, and they're usually a part of a writing team that involves a psychologist, a marketing person, a public relations person, and so they work together to shape a corporate narrative. These stories are written by individual authors. So there's none of that hyper didacticism or over moralizing or that corporate hegemony where the corporation is trying to shape your ideology or trying to shape what you think and feel, especially politically. None of that exists here. But the trade-off is that sometimes you have to switch off your desire for visual images and sink your teeth into these gorgeous short stories where these episodes come from. And I can definitely tell you that it is so worth it, everyone. It is very, very worth it. It's so worth it.
Nice. Excuse me. Yeah, it's just amazing to have the people. Like, it was such a fun time when you were talking about all those science fiction movies you were watching, and now this one, you found something to enjoy. I don't know how many more you got to go, but I don't know how many seasons there were of this, but
me neither. I'm going to hunt them all down. A boss, captain, my captain, mon capitaine. Mark was telling me that there seems to be some limited editions of the release of these, and he has speculated a few reasons why, and certainly everyone in the chat was echoing and amplifying Mark's speculation, because some of these, as you well know, being the grand poobah of all of geekdom, some of them may not fully survive this process, and that would be heartbreaking, but I'm going to do my best to get them all, boss.
Looks like from what I see on your pictures you have here, Mark, one of it says Roku. I think so. This might be even on Roku TV, which I watched.
Wouldn't surprise me. Yeah,
that's how I watch. That's how I watch UFO right now on Roku TV.
Oh wow!
So might be on there too.
There's also Amazon has something new called Freevee.
I've seen stuff
has
on
a lot
there.
of stuff on there too.
They had Warehouse 13 on there.
I can't. Speaking of streaming services, I canceled Paramount Plus this week. And asked for a refund.
Wow.
I didn't like that they left Bill Shatner off of their promo poster. That doesn't make any sense. If I buy your product and your product is chiefly known for being a Star Trek, like that's how it's basically known here. You turn on Paramount Plus, it's all ST. If you can do if you do that, why would you upset the people that are only buying it for that reason? Dumb.
Pathetic. Absolutely pathetic.
In the reason why you canceled and you want a refund, I filled it out.
Yeah.
But what?
If I didn't need it for certain, if I didn't need it, my dad didn't use it, I would I'd cancel it. I should, but I kind of need it in case I need other treks that I don't have. So just in case I'm back up anyway. 85.
I just put that up on the marquee. Sorry, boss. I just thought that was good information.
Indeed.
So Larry looked it up, and it's 85 episodes if you're listening in as though this is a radio program. So thank you, Larry. 85 episodes in total. Oh, don't show too many pictures. We don't want to ruin the story for them.
Well, there's really not much that they show. I mean,
good.
Just a couple of.
Because I am so excited for everyone to watch this episode. This is such a good episode.
Many Happy Returns is the title of one of my favorite Prisoner episodes as well. There you are. So there you go. Greatness.
Okay, so next one, boss. The next one is Tales of Tomorrow. The Miraculous Serum. This is on Tubi Canada, Season 1, Episode 13. It was first broadcast on June 20th, 1952. But on the American cesspool, I feel so bad for you folks with all of this user-generated crap. It says the Miraculous Serum, IMDb says it is Season 1, Episode 38. This is a short story by a gentleman named Stanley Gene Weinbaum. And it was adapted into a teleplay by a gentleman named Theodore Sturgeon.
I heard that name before, I think.
Oh,
Well,
wonderful.
Theodore Sturgeon. Oh my God, you kidding
Yeah,
me?
I'm joking. Yeah,
Mock time.
joking. Joking.
Yeah,
Who's Theodore
okay.
Sturgeon? Spill your guts, geeks.
A mock time, for one thing.
Oh yeah, duh.
Yeah,
Ted
yeah.
Sturgeon. Yeah.
Oh my
big time
god.
Star
Also,
Trek writer.
also of Sturgeon's Law of fame, who a friend of mine used to love the quote as a joke. So Theodore Sturgeon, they called it Sturgeon's Law. Was it 90% of everything is crap? So
Yeah.
only 10% of anything's any good. Anyway, good.
Okay, so here are my notes, folks. A biochemist invents a healing serum. He's been experimenting on diseased and severely injured animals. He goes into the hospital administrator's office and demands human testing. The hospital boss offers him an all hope is lost patient, but obviously doesn't allow him access to human testing. A woman with no hope is administered the serum. So the hospital administrator identifies a woman who is all hope is lost. She's able to communicate that she will take the serum, and she does. We fade to black, and we open up in a completely different environment. We're in a private home. We join the gentlemen, the two doctors, discussing what they've done. It's obvious that they're at the administrator's home. Suddenly, the patient appears from a room. She's lovely, graceful, and completely invincible. She's cocky. She's evil. She robs people. She's out assaulting people just to test her abilities. She's the Damon from Mary Shelley's Frankenstein. 100% the Damon. This is definitely inspired by Mary Shelley's modern Prometheus. She's adaptive. She's a horror, a secret horror. The administrator advises her to have a reversing procedure, and she declines. She escapes the administrator's home, and she heads to Washington in an attempt to, and I quote, run the world. She succeeds and returns to woo the young doctor who invented the serum. Obviously, she's cooking up some sort of a scheme for them to do something together in this attempt to, quote, run the world. The doctors decide to disable her power. Now, this episode, I won't go any further because I don't want to spoil it for everyone. This episode has to be one of the most unfortunate incidences of Tales of Tomorrow, because you're going to watch 99% of it, and then you get to the end, and it is the most ridiculous, unsatisfying, silly ending that this story could possibly have. And so you're so disappointed by the discombobulated, ridiculous ending that you're left going, what? What? So you will fully enjoy 99% of this story as though it were a 9 out of 10. And then you see the ending and you're like, okay, this is a 6 out of 10. And that's what happened there.
Did Zack Snyder do this one?
Pardon?
Hack Snyder ruined this ending like he did Watchmen?
I have no idea.
I'm just throwing that at Mark. Sorry.
You possibly did, yeah.
That was just for Mark's benefit.
Yeah, it was my benefit. Yeah, I still did like Watchmen a little bit. Till you ruined the ending for me.
Yeah, so really weird. So like really weird. It's very promising. We sort of feel like this could be like a scientific sort of creation of a superhero. Instead, it becomes a supervillain. And then in the end, the ending is so sloppy, unsatisfying, and ridiculous that you're just like, thanks for ruining like a 9 out of 10 for me.
Wow.
Too bad. Yeah.
Wow.
So right at the end. So this is
broke his own law.
Yeah, it's 9 out of 10 the whole way through. Then the big reveal in the last, I'd say, minute and a half of the show, absolutely stupid and ridiculous.
Wow.
So it's a 6 out of 10.
My goodness. Wow, Ted, way to drop the ball.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, it may not have been him. Maybe Somebody changed
Yeah.
the script, maybe? Who knows?
He probably he wrote it and then they changed it, or
That's why
Yeah.
he hated
Something,
TV. I guess.
Mhm.
Maybe it's like Harlan Ellison didn't like any way anyone took his stories. I don't know.
Yeah,
Weird.
well, that could be it. But I would definitely say that this is still worth watching. This is actually worth watching if you're someone who likes to see crossover stories. So, like, if you're somebody who really loves comics and you're somebody who gets into like the creation of comic book heroes or superheroes,
Mhm.
I think that you would find the 99% of this episode very fulfilling and a lot of fun. It basically reminds me of not only of Mary Shelley's Frankenstein or the modern Prometheus, but it reminds me of the old Spider-Man cartoon that I watched when I was young. So the 1960s
Love it.
Spider-Man cartoon, because I remember watching that when I was young, and it always gave us the backstory for the villains. We found out what happened with the villains, why they were like
Right.
that.
Yeah.
And so this is like that, only it's plausible. Like this is an episode where science fiction blurs into science fantasy, and then it stops. So I just wish they'd fix the ending, because it's just so much fun right up into the very end.
Wow.
interesting
look at
premise
this.
again. Yeah.
Wow.
Hold on for 1 second. I just want to put my buddy Larry up here. Larry says Sturgeon wrote approximately 400 reviews and more than 120 short stories, 11 novels, and several scripts for Star Trek, the original series.
Yeah.
Thank you, Larry.
Yep.
Yep, he did. And
Thank
I
you
don't know
for
what
that.
percentage of that was in that small 10% or in his 90% that he liked to talk about. But so
Look at what HB is saying here. Comics need the proper carry through to the origin story, though, Raquel. No carry through, it sucks. Yeah, that ending, it's just like he basically explains the making of like a science fiction tale about how a villain was made, because what happens is quite plausible. He basically gives her gene therapy without explaining that it's gene therapy, obviously, because it's the 50s. It was probably written in the 40s. And they don't, they basically don't know anywhere near what we know about genes today. So the plausibility of it makes it so enjoyable. And you're like, oh, wow, adaptive. So this is like a starfish. If you cut off its arm, its arm will grow back, or like, wow. So how far can we take this adaptability, and what happens? What are the limits of this? So it's really cool, because it's sort of comic book. It's kind of Mary Shelley's Frankenstein, the modern Prometheus, and then it's this beautiful straddling of science fiction and science fantasy. But then the ending, oh, you guys are going to hate the ending. You're going to be like, oh God, what an ending.
Wow. Now I got to see that one.
Well, it sounds like that Outer Limits episode. One of the first Outer Limits episodes with John Boy, where he's trying to cure someone, and it's he injects him with a serum, and then the serum eventually reacts to everything, so it cures the cancer. But then it grows eyes in the back of his head. I think we talked about.
I remember that episode. That episode's so scary.
So it's the same thing, because it gives you a cure and you're invincible. In the end, he can't even touch anyone because his body becomes like.
Remember when he reaches back and he touches the eyeball?
Yeah.
It's so scary.
But that was great
Richard
writing.
Thomas, that's right. Wow.
Richard Thomas, yeah.
Gross.
That was a great episode. God, I was
So
going to wonder how
good.
close it is to this.
You mean New Outer Limits?
New Outer Limits? Yeah.
Yeah,
Don't
New Outer
confuse
Limits, not Old
that
Outer
with
Limits.
the real deal best
But
of
there
all.
was some darn good.
I'm not
episodes.
arguing that, but that original show. Come on, man.
Oh yeah.
DJ
yeah.
Ronnie G. Look at how naughty he is. Folks, before
Just
we
saw that
move
episode.
on from this segment, I just want to say again that Many Happy Returns is a 9 out of 10 from Tales of Tomorrow. That is Many Happy Returns. I hope you enjoy it. It's tons of fun. And The Miraculous Serum. The Miraculous Serum. And I gave that a 9 out of 10 all the way up until about the last 2 minutes of the show, and then it slipped to a 6 out of 10. And that is it, folks. And I hope you enjoyed this week of Tales of Tomorrow.
Indeed, Admiral T. Hey, what's up?
Admiral T.
Good to see you. Well, there you go. There you have 2 more episodes, folks.
Good stuff, yeah.
Tales of Tomorrow.
Well, wow, excellent. I love that. I promise there will be a day when we don't have to. When you ask that question, I'll go, "Yep." As a matter of fact, I have seen that one.
Yeah.
Of course, my promises don't mean crap. We all know that, but still, I promise it anyway. I promise that my promise means promises are not promising. How about that?
Well, now we should be moving on to UFO. But
No,
there's
right.
a huge controversy facing us this week. Well, for some of us on the panel, but for the audience, I think they already knew what was going to happen. So we should probably tackle that.
UFO. What is this picture you got here, though? Raquel, I see something.
Oh, can I talk about that now?
Well, sure.
Oh, good. Okay, brakes.
I don't know why you had it there.
Brakes.
It's still UFO. It's UFO.
Hold on. Look, you guys. Do you see this? This is a shadow badge that Clobby sent me all the way from Louisiana. And when I opened it up, it said hello to me in Cajun. No, I'm kidding.
It is, yeah. It's a badge from Louisiana. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's beautiful. So now I'm going to cosplay. And I just wanted to say thank you to Clobby. I just wanted to tell you how much I love you and how excited I am to put this patch to use as cosplay. So you are the best captain ever. This is better than receiving pips. And I adore you. So I'm sending smooches for your whole face.
I should have got 2 of them. Now that I think about it, I'm mad that I didn't grab some other ones. So we could have done multiple costumes with it. But if I see another one, I'll grab it.
Ridiculously expensive. I can't believe that you sent it all the way to Canada.
Far off Canadian land.
Canadian
well,
land.
It wasn't that. I mean, it wasn't. It's not. You're right. It's expensive compared to given what it was. But you know, I don't know why. But it's not like staggering to the point like there's just you just go, yeah, that's a bit high. It's not like the last thing that I sent. That was pretty expensive to send that sucker. But that was a package with has some heft to it, not heavy or anything. This is light as a feather, and it's up there. Why is it so much?
I don't know.
But it took ridiculous. 2 weeks. It took 2 freaking weeks, though.
I know.
Or did it? Or was it just there for a time and I didn't go check it out?
No,
I
got the notice today and picked it up today.
Okay.
Well, we don't get door-to-door mail service here in Canada anymore, folks. So yeah, no, and I cannot tell you how cool it was to open up an envelope and it was like number 1.
Number 1, shooter. Shooter's
hey,
here.
Pew 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 pew.
So they don't bring mail to your door anymore in Canadian land?
No, not in Canadian land.
That's insanity. Well,
Wow.
Hungry boy there. Okay, we need a Cajun Clobby for at least 5 sentences every week, yeah. Well, I'm sorry about that, my friend. I don't like to talk like that very often because you get stuck in it. You can't do it no more, man. If you've been down in the bayou and stuff and you got nice, fine ladies like number 1 and you get them a shadow statue and go, hey, shadow is, what does that stand for again, Sha? It's a I can't remember now. Something aliens and defenses and let's see, Supreme Headquarters Alien Defense Organization. Oh, hey, that's with something like that, Shell. It's like a Supreme Headquarters International Espionage Law Enforcement Division. No, that's SHIELD. Oh, sorry.
HB, isn't it beautiful? I absolutely love. Like Clobby can do lots of voices, but people don't really know that he can do the Cajun one. But I'm attuned to it because he uses it in an offhanded way in private. So he'll be like, "Are you ready to go up in Neil?" And I'm like, "Yes!" It's so cool because it's like you're in Louisiana. So now I I definitely push him to do it on air because it's so good.
Pretty soon I'll have her talking like Louisiana and say, "Hey, where you at? Where you at?" They say that in New Orleans. Like, where you at? Where you at? Yeah. Hey, common nerd, where you at, man?
I'm a nerd.
Where you at?
Yeah, I love it.
Hey, common nerd.
Good to see you, common. Well, so we have an UFO. Now, the thing about this, everyone, is we're going by this Fanderson order.
Mm-hmm.
I think I messed up the Fanderson order, actually.
No, it's of course. I don't think you did. I mean, we
I
just
don't think
hear
you
it.
did. It's on the Fanderson site that way.
Which means the Jerry Anderson fan club order, everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And if you want to show them.
Well, here,
Yeah.
I'm going to show it. Yeah,
I
I'll
think you should show it.
So if I share a screen, here we go. So this is UFO series FAQ. Put the link in the chat here for anyone. Great website. So if you look, and there's also the Wikipedia page too. That if I scroll down,
you
sorry for
didn't
the
mess it
fast.
up, but that other thing did.
Yeah. So if you go, where is it here? Oop. They list all the episodes. You can sort by the episode. Oh, here we are.
Mm-hmm.
So prod order is obviously 1 through 23. ATV order is official ITC sequence, which is how they were brought, and that was all over the place. UFO is recommended by Mark Martin, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then Fanderson is the official fan club of Jerry Anderson. So if you click that, so see identified, computer affair, flight path, which we watched last week, exposed is number 4.
That should have been next.
Survival's 5, conflict 6.
Yeah, but this isn't where you last week when you told everyone to watch Survival. This is not what we were looking at. We were at the actual Fanderson breakdown of the production order. You did not make a mistake.
Oh yeah,
no,
yeah. That's the other
Mark.
Oh yeah, I'll show it. I'll show it. Yep. I have that other.
It wasn't your fault. It was a natural thing for you to get mixed up with because of the way everyone organizes all their different watching orders. It's not your fault.
Yeah, here's
because that's the one I had from you. Showed it that way around.
Yeah,
it was this one here.
He didn't do anything wrong. He's a sweet person who just wanted to help everyone. This is the one, Mark.
This is the one. Yep. So this lists them in order. So identified.
No, keep going,
computer
honey.
affair.
Yeah.
Flight path, which we watched. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then survival. Yep. See, okay.
It was also one of the ones
I'm vindicated.
Yep. Yeah, they just totally got it wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Which is surprising.
Well, that was aired. Was that air date though? Was it aired 3rd? Was it aired 4th? It wasn't even aired 4th.
Film air date 6 January 71.
No, that the actual air date for I believe ATV or is it North America? I don't know. Yeah, it's January 6, 1971.
So this was actually aired before Flight Path. This is January 20th.
Okay.
1971.
Yeah.
So that's too early.
Now that we've established that everyone was supposed to watch Survival and that you didn't do anything wrong, that you're a wonderful person
who just have to do them out of order.
Who is juggling all these different things. Let's talk about this for a second. So could you please take us back to that Wikipedia doohickey?
There we go. Yeah.
Okay, so folks, this gets into some pretty hardcore geekdom stuff. Okay, I usually only get into this stuff when it's Star Trek because everybody knows I like watching it in production order because when you watch Star Trek in production order, certain things are revealed in a way in which you should never alter the production order of Star Trek, the original series. And then that was further proven to me by way of The Prisoner. So The Prisoner also has a huge fandom, and there are like this particular franchise has a whole bunch of different fans that put it, different fan sources that put it in different orders because they enjoy it in a certain order. And of course, you all know, because I've said it 9 billion times now, that I prefer CLOBBY'S order. Now, he always says, well, that's not my order. It belongs to blah, blah, blah. But I don't care. I wouldn't know about The Prisoner if it wasn't for CLOBBY. And it's CLOBBY'S order. He told me the order, so now it's his order. Anyways, when I watched his order of The Prisoner, I had already watched somebody else's order, and I think I'd have to ask Clobby, but I think I was like 3 or 4 episodes in, and I was like, I'm not sure if I get this show. When I watched it in Clobby's order, I was like, oh, this is a good show. So it can make a huge difference. But for everyone at home, you just need to know that this is a thing that happens in geekdom. You get these super raw and super cemented fandoms that like to watch things in a certain order for their very own reasons. And tonight, you're going to hear why this shouldn't be in prod order. We can't go in prod order for UFO, even though we did. And tonight, it will highlight why. How's that? We good?
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
yeah.
All right.
We'll work through this. We'll get through this. So.
Mhm.
And because some episodes were filmed out of the prod order, but not meant to be shown that way.
Mhm.
If that makes sense. So, like Larry is saying, he would use the production order, which is 99.9% of the time usually works out. But for the strange thing, for the introduction of the character tonight, you actually are exposed to him in Exposed versus seeing his fight for survival and survival. So by
Yeah.
showing, that's why if you look at the prod order, 5 was actually produced after Survival, although the character first appears in Exposed.
Mhm.
So that's why most orders you're showing prod order 5
It's
before
wacky.
number 4, which is totally wackadoodle.
Mhm.
So, and it
It
doesn't
is
really
totally
hurt the
wackadoodle. And the boss was saying earlier when we were off air, he was talking about. I liked what the boss was saying. The captain was saying, imagine how that felt for Paul.
Yeah, right.
Like imagine how that
Your
felt
first
for Michael
episode.
Billington, because Michael Billington here, he is
Right.
filming this established character narrative.
Yeah.
It's just it's wackadoodle.
And he's
Nutty
not
stuff.
not on the show yet. Yeah, or
Yeah.
technically, yeah.
Hmm.
He's so it's it is pretty strange. But it doesn't, I was going to say, yeah, it doesn't really hurt the episode you're a little bit better off, I think, obviously watching that in that order, but I don't think it's critical. It's just a little bit better, but it doesn't kill the episode. You
Mhm.
just happen to understand his character a little bit more, I think. So
Yeah.
but it's a strange thing, because like, wait a minute, why did they, for some reason, they had that out of prod order in terms of
Mhm.
who knows, maybe the production or certain sets weren't ready, or so we got to go with this episode later because it wasn't ready.
Mhm.
And then they did Survival first. Maybe Survival was ready to film first. So, but interesting, when you're really into a show, then you do these deep dives
You
into
learn
this kind of
so
stuff,
much.
which is
I'm
fun.
just happy
Yeah.
that we did this on air, because you were so upset that you thought that you messed us all up, and you didn't mess up anything. You were faithful to the Fanderson order. So I think it's cool that that we got to expose that well intentioned, that production order doesn't work. Even though it's on the Fenderson site. So it's something
Yeah.
folks should be aware of. You can watch it in the order we watched it in, but if you're watching this on a rewatch a couple of weeks from now, or so on and so forth, be certain to watch the exposed first, because this is how you discover mistakes in the system, and this is obviously one of them. And it wasn't Mark's mistake. He's a very cute and very sweet person, and he just followed the Fanderson order. So,
But if you want to blame him, you could all feel free.
You can, because it is in his contract.
Right. But look at the ITC order. I mean, if you go, I mean, it's just all over the place. So the funny thing is, or silly thing is, if you watch it in that order, there's characters going in and out of the show that I don't want to give any
Mess
spoilers,
it up.
but there's it just messes up where the characters appear. So they're showing the Fanderson order, number 2, this Computer Affair was actually shown 16th, I think. So, which is crazy. Some of these earlier episodes they're showing much later. So 7, 3, and 2 are shown totally out of order. And a lot of times for an anthology show, it doesn't matter. But when you have characters going to and from the series, or you're developing a few plot points, it just doesn't. Or characters, you know, if you read it, like, you know, they're investigating what happened to a character when it hasn't happened, you know, something hasn't happened yet, or that kind of stuff without giving,
That's right. That's right.
giving spoilers. Yep.
Okay, so maybe I should read the Wikipedia page so that we can start hashing this out, guys.
Yep, and I'll show the slideshow that I have. Yep.
Okay, Mark, because I just saw something on the Wikipedia page, I'm not sure if it is correct or not, but it does have in-text citation, and there are 2 places for in-text citation. If I were to chase the source, it may be true. But so I'm actually going to read the little top part and the story part. You ready? Let's go.
Yep.
Survival is the 13th episode aired of the first series of UFO, a 1970 British television science fiction series about an alien invasion of Earth. The screenplay was written by Tony Barwick, and the director was Alan Perry. The episode was filmed, Mark, are you listening?
I'm listening.
The episode was filmed between the 30th of June and 10 July 1970. Huh.
Wow.
Right? And obviously, this is poorly written. Somebody needs kicks for writing it like this. And aired on the ATV Midlands on the 30th of December 1970. Though shown as the 13th episode, it was actually the 4th to have been filmed. Weird. The series was created by Jerry Anderson and Sylvia Anderson with Reg Hill, and produced by the Andersons and the Lou Grade Century 21 Productions for Grade's ITC Entertainment Company. And now I will read about the story. I haven't pre-read any of this stuff, folks, so if it sucks, could be a number of reasons. Under the cover of a meteor shower, a UFO manages to evade Shadow's tracking and land on the moon. The alien pilot gets close enough to Moonbase to shoot out a window of the leisure sphere. The resulting explosive decompression, wouldn't that be implosive decompression, kills an astronaut inside and almost kills Paul Foster. We don't know Paul Foster yet. Straker orders a search of the vicinity around Moonbase using moon mobiles, and they locate the UFO in a crater. The UFO shoots at the moon mobiles, whereupon the interceptors are called in. They shoot the UFO down, and it tries to take off, and it crashes into Foster's moon mobile. Thrown clear, Foster is injured in the explosion, and his spacesuit radio transmitter is broken. Shadow believes that he has been killed. Foster is not alone, however, as the alien has also survived. The 2 adversaries realize that to survive, they need to cooperate and walk back to Moonbase. They get close to their destination, but a search team locates Foster, believing the alien to be a threat, and with Foster unable to contact the search team due to his broken radio, they shoot and kill the alien. Okay, so this is kind of okay, except for it says believing the alien to be a threat, and with Foster unable to contact the search team. That's not what happened at all. It's that with everyone being in spacesuits, they can't hear him correctly because they need to communicate through those transmitters. His transmitter is broken, but they're in physical contact. So it's just that they can't hear him. So that should be worded entirely differently.
Yeah, or they couldn't find him after the accident because of the broken radio.
Yes, it's like somebody melded those 2 sentences together and then didn't realize that they pooped on their own bed.
10 points off on the term paper.
10 points? I think that's fair. That's a good mark. Yeah. That's a good mark. So now with that read, I'll turn it over to the boss. And I'll turn it over to Mark. Guys, tell me, what do you think of this episode?
Who wants to go first? You go first, Mike.
No, go ahead. I would say it's extraordinary. I mean, it's a really a very powerful one. Again, if you're starting out, if you're watching it in this order when it first comes on, if you're just like watching it reruns, if you started tomorrow cold, it would feel a little bit, I guess, okay. Now, the next week you'll go, wait, you're going to be a little puzzled, but I think it's a great one. I think it is definitely now that we know the show, we've all seen the show a lot. It was definitely, even though they filmed it fourth, it was definitely a story that was meant to fit in later. It was meant to come later, although it leaves questions that even later were not answered. I don't know if we're going into spoilers or anything, but just on our initial, we can talk about that later, I guess. Initially, though, I think this is an excellent, tense episode.
Yeah, it's got a lot of tension, and then of course, if you meet this character, unfortunately first, by watching it in this order, you really maybe have some. It's a little weird because he's a commander of the moon base. You might have a little bit more sympathy or connection with the character, but the episode still works if you watch it. These anthology type, basically an anthology series with interconnecting threads. It's not a deal breaker, but and it reminded me a little bit of Enemy Mine, or when we did the watch party, we mentioned it too, where you have the two people that are stranded. And they've got to work together.
Sand.
Yeah. So they've got to, and it also opens up a lot of questions, like, are all the aliens bad, or why is this alien?
That's what I was
trying
thinking.
Why is he trying to save? Why is he trying to save him? Is he trying to, he can't bring him back. His ship is gone, so he can't transport him back, or
right. What the alien does is kind of weird because we're thinking, will there be going forward communications with these beings? This leaves you questioning. That's why I think it was definitely meant for later down the road. That makes you wonder, going, are we going to find out that not all aliens are bad? I don't know.
Or how much of the person remains, because remember, these are harvesters. These are body harvesters.
Right.
They take organs, they take whole bodies, and then fill them with alien and human guts. And so they're really, so it also opens up this whole can of worms where you're like, oh, wow. So humanity remains if perhaps they use a full body and only put in alien parts. I mean, it really sets your imagination ablaze, and it's quite inspiring.
Yep.
That asks a lot of questions. And let's see, Lost for Words says the woman in the poster on the right is stunning. Yes, she is. And you'll never guess whose mom that is. Or maybe you do know. I shouldn't assume, but it's a famous sorcerer.
By the way, welcome, Lost for Words, by the way. Oh,
no, Lost for Words. He's actually that's actually the mother of the fish on The Simpsons. You know him as Benedict Cumberbatch.
The fish.
The Sorcerer Supreme. We're not Sorcerer Supreme anymore, unfortunately, in the Marvel universe.
Basically, Raquel being a very mean person.
Very mean.
Calls Benedict Cumberbatch, says Benedict Cumberbatch looks like a fish.
He does. He looks like a goldfish. He looks like a wall-eyed goldfish with the bulgy eyes. He looks creepy weird. Weird.
I love how they're playing with the darts with balloons with Straker's face on it.
Yeah.
Beginning of this episode.
The commander. Yeah.
I like that they pop one of the balloons with a cigarette, because people used to do that at New Year's. Do you remember when everyone smoked? And right at New Year's, if you didn't have a noisemaker, you would use the cherry of your cigarette to pop a balloon, add to the noise.
Minimus is here, by the way.
Minimus. I was talking about you earlier. Were your ears burning?
Get his mom in the Sherlock. Yeah, I saw her get to play. Yeah, she did play his mom on the. She actually did play his mom on a Sherlock episode as well.
One of the most beautiful women,
gorgeous woman
that has ever lived, and her son looks like Blinky.
Right. Jesus. But yeah, this is again this opening scene there where this guy gets blasted out into space by this UFO attack. There's the thing about this. The UFO manages to land on the moon at the beginning on the moon base, and unbeknownst to them. So it was a secret. And what does it do? This is kind of curious. I mean, he just shows up and he just shoots a window. Like, what did he show up to? Like, just a what is he like? It's just like
Saboteur.
saboteur, I guess, or he's not real. It's not very ambitious, just shooting out a window. I mean, I'm not sure.
Did he know the commander was in there? That was the
Yeah, he
commander
could have
of the
known
base?
that. I don't see how he could have known that. I don't know. So maybe he could. But anyway, he blasts the window, and only really costs, it costs one death, of course, to that gentleman who dies at the beginning.
Bill
there.
Grant.
Yes, and anyway, later, of course, Paul Foster feels responsible. He's clearly an established, experienced character at this point, because I mean, when he first pops up, obviously, it's going to take a while before him. That's excellent. We're going to be seeing next week exposed how he gets started. So at this point, though, he's already worked up to being, taking moon-based command, for God's sake. So this episode is a story that just fits in much better way later.
It does.
But anyway,
especially
and you have,
because we develop a complicated relationship with Paul Foster.
Right, exactly. And then you also have Mark, the gentleman that, later in the story, when we think Paul's gone, Dadman, what's up, buddy? Dadman,
Hey, Dad, man.
Hey, Deadman Clan!
We later, when they go out to find the UFO, and Mark, and Paul Foster gets himself in trouble out there, and to the point where Straker thinks he's dead, and he has to appoint a new moon-based commander. I thought that was a pretty interesting scene. What did you think about that scene where he goes to Mark, who has been a character? He's not a character that is used as much as Straker, Alec, or Foster. But he's been in some episodes. He was, of course, in a crucial episode that we watched, Computer Affair, of course, which you've already watched.
Yep.
But aside from that, you don't get too many episodes where Mark is prominent. Right?
No.
But
and it definitely shows that Straker doesn't really care what your designation is in the military, because of course we have Gay Ellis, who's a lieutenant, who is in charge of the intelligence for Moonbase. And of course, in the very beginning, we're led to believe, and we believe, if you watch in the order that I watched in, for at least 3/4 of UFO, that she's the one who's in charge of a Moonbase. And it's important to mention too that Paul Foster is a colonel. So when he comes along, we don't know anything about him. It's very jarring. He's out of sync. Here is this Colonel Paul Foster. And then we have this alien, and, I'm like Larry. I always thought of it as he was deployed as a sniper and just basically screwed up. But
could be.
The thing is, Mark Bradley is an amazing character, and we love Mark Bradley. But I feel bad for Mark Bradley, because Mark Bradley is one of those people who is always next to command. And we wonder if he's like Spock, where he doesn't want to take it, but he'll take it once in a while. Because remember, Mark Bradley is a lieutenant. He's not a colonel. So when he's offered this above Ellis, and he's offered this above Gay Ellis, and he's offered this above, any other colonel that stands in his way, it's quite something. And it really inspires imagination, because you think to yourself, okay, what's happening in these interpersonal relationships? Also, would one, and we certainly learn this in this episode, it takes a special kind of person to want to live on the moon. You're completely disconnected. You're on a secret base. You have no connection with anyone. And poor Paul, he definitely suffers from that. And so we see the Anderson thought process coming to life on screen. Who actually wants this job? Who wants to live on the moon and have this horrible solitary existence?
No, it's
not an easy life. Yeah.
By the way, Admiral Teague, Straker's not wearing a wig. Ed Bishop dyed his hair, just so you know.
He did, and burnt it, the poor sweetheart.
But didn't he end up having to wear a wig because his hair got so damaged from being dyed?
Yeah, he was really into doing the character. He was so inspired by all of these gorgeous Century 21 production costumes being made and just the quality of the script and everything, that he did the pure bleach routine. And I mean, this is like when did they originally do that? I think it's 1968 or whatever, when they presented their ideas. So not the best time to be going and getting a home dye kit and trying to bleach your hair out white. So he fried all of his hair off, the poor guy. But definitely wanted to get into character.
Well, anyway, but on the character of Mark, I just thought that was a very interesting scene for a show made in 1970.
I think it's incredible.
Well,
I think it's a beautiful conversation, and I love that Straker says to him, like, "Look, dude, like, I don't care if you're purple and polka dot," and then basically says to him, like, "Look, there are always going to be losers, but for 5 years now, we've fought for this, and it's your time, it's your turn, and you can't look for the losers who will be naysayers, because there'll always be losers." And I love that he looks them dead in the eye with his full open heart and all of his power and says, "We don't live for losers. Don't focus on them, and don't make your life decisions based on these losers. You base your life decisions on what I'm saying to you right now, and I want you, lieutenant or not, or any of the other things that worry you." I think it's beautiful. It is so beautiful. I love it.
Yeah. And he actually has that great line where he touches him and says, "Well, because of this," he's pointing out his skin color, and that's when Straker.
Well, that's what I was
Straker
trying to.
Says that. Yeah.
He basically says, ask him what his problem is. Why if he wants the job, I want it, but well, then what's your problem? And basically he alludes to it again in more subtle TV fashion, because this is a TV show in the 1970s, without coming out and saying it like they would today. And just could imagine a scene like this today. And he comes out basically without saying it, says it, meaning the character of Mark, saying, indicating that because of his skin color, he doesn't think he will be given the respect he would be treating with, things back then, which it was the far-flung future of 1980, or 81 in this case, this episode. But back then, it was legitimate concern, and that's when then all of what you just said, Raquel, Straker just shoots him down and says, "Look, you can't let that kind of crap hold you back. You either step up to it, and you take it like a man, and you realize that, yes, there are prejudices like that, but if you're not going to stand up to them and fight them, then what good are you? Then you're not material to be leading this base anyway. And if you want to stand up to it, I don't need this kind of crap. The whole planet is riding on this stuff, and I think you're the man for the job. Argue." And and he does. That's a great. Oh, you got the dialogue right.
Yeah, put the dialogue.
The dialogue is amazing, and I just love the way that he says that that sort of crap burned itself out 5 years ago. But the most important thing is that he's not admonishing him. It's that he reassures him that if he is to become meditative or focused on these naysayers will always exist. And so it's up to us to keep moving forward and to ignore those pieces of crap, and that he has his full support. It's just so beautiful. Gene Roddenberry would have done a cartwheel watching
it was
this.
Great. It was very Trek.
It was so Star Trek. It was just so beautiful and hopeful, and so it's in so many of our hearts, this pure love that exists, that is not available sometimes these days, and it's quite sad.
Hey, Oliver,
and that's all I want to say on that. But an incredibly beautiful scene. And Straker tells him, "Don't live for those losers. Those losers will always exist. You have to live for this positivity and forget that crap that burnt itself out 5 years ago." I love it. I love it. I love it.
And
Oliver Belamonte. I was gonna. If you want to read it, no, if you want to, go ahead.
No, it's okay. But he says, it's how would you know? He says, all right, on the surface maybe, but deep down, it's still there. So they're acknowledging that there's some racism out there.
Before maybe that, though, go up a little bit, go down.
I'll go up a little bit. Yep.
He asks him why he's reluctant, and then the words are important here. He just says because of this, but he gestures to his face, meaning, of course, the color of his skin. He said, "Don't give me that. racial prejudice burned itself out 5 years ago. Now, this is in the far-flung future of 1980. It's another.
Yeah.
I don't think obviously we know there's still plenty of it, but I know what he's saying.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
how would you know? Now, go ahead. I'm sorry to interrupt you, but I want to get
No,
that
you
point
want
right.
no, it's good. Yeah,
No, it's beautiful, Clubby. I love it. It's just,
Yeah.
it's exactly like you said. I mean, this is everything that Clubby and I love about Star Trek, the original series. Just so much hope. And I know Mark feels that way too. It's there. This is so Gene Roddenberry. There is just so much hope and trust and faith in humanity here that it's something to aspire to. And we need that hope, we need that love, we need that aspiration, and we need it now.
Well, it's brilliant that it talks about this. And Mark, you can go ahead if you want to read more.
Okay, well,
from
yeah,
it.
just keep going. Yeah, all right, on the surface, maybe. But deep down, it's still there. Maybe it will never show, and maybe it will. Like sometime I'm ordering a guy out on a mission. A time, the chances are he won't come back. And then this is a straight guy. Like, look, I'm not offering you some easy number. I don't care if you're a polka dot with red stripes. Do you want the job? Do you want it? Yes, sir, would like it, but not like this. No one wanted it like this. Now
Yeah.
get some rest, Commander. So he's basically telling him, you're taking the job. You're the best man for the job. You can't let anyone that might be racially prejudiced stop you from. Here's the scene right there. Yeah, just I'll
Right.
zoom back a second there.
This episode deals with it in this scene, and it deals with it later in a human and an alien.
Mm-hmm.
So there's that's a great juxtaposition there. Yeah, between the two.
Yeah.
Yep.
You want to feel hope again. You want to feel like you can reach out and love someone and not worry about any type of narrative, and just person to person, absolute pure love. That is what you see in this show. It is so inspiring. I just can't even find the words to express how grateful I am for this show and how intelligent it is, and these nuanced performances. And speaking of nuanced performance, I think it's really important to talk about Robert Swan's portrayal of Bill Grant's death at the beginning. In this sniper attack. I think not only is it a sniper attack, but for me, in my mind, in my imagination, I think it's also supposed to be showing us that once you're up on the moon base, that you are vulnerable. And we continually see that it's very dangerous to be out in space in a spacesuit. You could die, likely will die. In fact, every time someone has ventured out of some type of vehicle, they have died or almost died. And so, this thing that happens with Bill Grant and the way that Robert Swan plays this, I cannot believe the look on Robert Swan's face portraying Bill Grant dying while that room is decompressed after this this random sniper attack. Wow, my hat's off to Robert Swan. Thank you so much for that performance. Truly terrifying and definitely engaging. You're definitely thinking that this person is actually dying when somebody is able to act so well, and really scary, because that's a very scary way to die. So amazing, Robert Swan, amazing.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And they're working with, I was gonna say, just limited budgets here and limited special effects.
Sure.
So obviously on the moon, and I think the spacesuits look great, and I think the scenes overall look really well. But of course, they don't have the technology back then to cheaply recreate low grav. And of course, that was the reason, gravity never went out on the Starship, right? They had designed that into the technical manuals, the gravity plating built it, because it would have just way too expensive. I don't think it was till Star Trek 6, right, till they had a scene where the ship lost gravity. You'd assume that would happen much more often. Or, of course, 2001, that was a big budget picture. So like this scene here where they're rappelling across a canyon here, it's they can't simulate that 1/6 gravity.
They have
So,
normal
but-
gravity, but they can't really. They don't have a budget. You know,
But
yeah.
they're doing their best, and but the
Yeah,
spacesuits look really good, I think, and everything looks looks really good, and it's more the story that's important too, I think. But there's nothing that bad for me here that takes me out of the story. Maybe it's my
No.
age showing too, but you kind of got
I
to
don't think
suspend
so.
disbelief and
I
and
don't
go
think it
with it.
has anything
Plus,
to
when
do
this
with
when this
age.
was aired, you know,
Well, so, some of the youngins like I guess like maybe like my kids' generation maybe would be more not stereotyping everyone, but some of these special effects are cheesy. Do I want to watch this show? But I love
I
these
think
special effects.
I
think
think the
they're
practical effects on
fantastic.
this show are absolutely outstanding. They are just inspired. But we're jumping ahead. What did you guys think of the space burial?
That was remind me of Wrath of Khan in a lot of ways.
I
Sending
was
Spock off on
scared. I was like,
yeah.
what if he takes his organs? And then I thought, oh my goodness, like this is the United States of America in 1970. Cremation really isn't a huge thing. And I was thinking to myself, would I cremate myself, knowing that I could be harvested of for organs? So it was a lovely depiction, and we see Bill Grant sent off in this beautiful, like what would be burial at sea. And once again, I think Gene Roddenberry would be totally impressed, but it also leaves you with these lingering feelings of wow, I don't want them getting a hold of my body parts. Yikes.
Right. Yeah.
Right, Clubby?
absolutely, it's just absolutely. But did you want to backtrack to that because we jumped way out of
We did.
head, we can.
I also want to talk
Yeah.
about the Paul going on the booty call.
Yeah, let's do that.
Oh,
Go back
yeah.
Can you go back to that or?
Oh yeah, I can go in the
Yeah.
slideshow. Yeah, I can.
I'd like
I
to
can
totally
jump
back
to
up
it.
to that.
Basically-
Oh, there's
basically-
his death. My
There's the
goodness,
death
this
of
actor.
Bill Grant, right? That was messed up.
Oh,
the-
he's
'Cause he's
the
looking at
look
him
of
eye to
terror
eye.
on his face, and as he suffocates, my goodness, Robert Swan did such an amazing job as Bill Grant here. Oh, so good.
It was such a sad, terrible scene, terribly awful scene, and they lost a man, and so it was rough for the people of Shadow.
Yep.
And I would have thought that the alien, like you said, though, Clobberin times would have done more damage or thrown,
I'm not sure what
explosive
his
device.
deal was, but then again, we don't know because later look what he does. So we find out later, but we don't know. 'Cause
Yeah.
we never, that's the problem. We're never going to know. And it's,
You don't know. You don't know.
frustrating.
Yeah.
What we
Yep.
do know is Paul, of course, goes back to Earth to report to Straker.
Hmm.
Well, here's
And,
the
at this-
burial at sea or burial in space.
Right?
I
They
should say.
buried, the burial of Bill.
I love that you said burial at sea. That's what Gene Roddenberry would have likened it to.
Right.
Yeah.
Who knows? Maybe he watched the show and liked it.
Yeah. Oh,
never
there's
know.
Nina.
Nina.
Nina Barry.
Yeah.
One of the most beautiful women to ever be on TV. Smoking hot bod.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I would like to send Mark get to do more on this series, but again, maybe they planned to, and it was tougher. It was tougher times, and you know. But so he's back at Shadow with Alec and of course Straker, and
Yep.
Straker says, well, because they are a slave pretty much to when they can go back up next to the, when the next launch is possible to go to the moon.
Mhm.
He tells how long it's gonna be. So he tells, hey, Paul, go out and go relax a little bit before we can leave. And Paul knows what he wants to go do, and he tells Stricker where it's gonna be, because he's gonna go have him some fun.
Yeah.
Relax a
Natural
little
reaction is to hit back, but yeah, we can't do anything now. So yeah, just go have some fun. Plus, it's dangerous, right? I mean, they're in a war, and no one knows they're in war. So in a war,
Work
right
hard,
now, so,
play harder.
yeah. So the girlfriend has no idea, and she's really,
She doesn't know what he does exactly. Yeah, but yeah.
Yeah.
and she doesn't.
But then
She
again,
doesn't.
Straker's wife didn't either.
Yeah.
Yeah. And this gets into the spy aspects of this show that I love so much. When I try to explain what this show is to people, I say, take the best James Bond you can and make it have a baby with Star Trek, the original series, and you have UFO. And so I feel bad for what happens with Paul, because, Paul Foster reveals that he's basically, he's not going to have a very good life. He's going to go from woman to woman. You know, he might have you know, a dance or two with whiskey at the end of the day, and you know, he's going to be on a moon base. And I really like how realistic this is.
Defending the Earth.
Pardon?
Yeah, defending the Earth. Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly it, right? And it's such a crucial position, you know. And Admiral Teague says, you know, I feel Straker was really quick to give up and write his guy off after they lost communication.
Yeah.
When there was no body. Well, you know, at the same time, though, Admiral Teague, you know, that could have been the Omniceptor's intent to go in there as a sniper, to show that the moon base was vulnerable, to shake people up, possibly kill someone, and then, you know, they can send in as many omniceptors as they want, right? Nina referred to it as that, Nina Barry, and I'm not sure if it's omniceptor or omniceptor. So anyway, I think that was the intention there, and this is just the Andersons, you know, showing how intelligent their show is, that how intelligent their writing is. It's really helping you to understand and become attached to these characters and sort of imagine them as though they had real lives.
Yep.
No, it's really interesting with what happens, and plus the stress of knowing that too, that, you know, you're a soldier going to combat, but you can't tell anyone either, right? So it's a super top secret. So your loved ones can't know. And yeah, and his girlfriend's really not very sympathetic. I think in the end, she kind of realizes, oh, maybe I should have been a little bit more understanding. But yeah, it's got to be really tough life. So
yeah, well, we're just heading into disco too, right? A whole Club 54 and you know, and free love and experimentation, and you know, there she is listening to her hard rock music, and she's having her sexy shower. She knows what's going on in the world, and she likes Paul, but I don't think, you know, she's a cow that goes giving away her milk for free. And so I think she does have a genuine concern, but I think it's written into the story to highlight how undesirable this position is. And we see that later in what happens with Mark. Mark has multiple issues to face when taking on that position, when taking on that job, but it really is an end of the road decision, because you destroy your whole life so you can save billions of lives. So the booty call is great. I think she's absolutely cute. I love that shower scene. I love that she's listening to rock music. I love that time capsule, you know, having grown up in the 1970s. It was very much like that. I miss all those colors. I miss the bizarre mushroom lamps. I miss the weirdness of everything. So I thought that was good. And what else did I write in my notes here? Oh, I wanted to talk with you and Clobby about the practical effects. Wow, the practical effects in this episode are off the hook. They are so good. We have such a bounty, a variety of beautiful machines, beautiful models, and the footage of the moon, just and taking off and landing and all the things that are going on. And these suits, imagine how much these suits were.
Yeah, they're expensive to make. I mean, they look pretty. I mean, they're not obviously, you know, real spacesuits, but especially the helmet, I think, and the gloves. I think they did the best job with the helmet and the gloves. And this is made in what, 68? So we're landing on the moon in 69. And the spacesuit tech, you know, our spacesuit techs only started in the 50s with the, you know, Mercury, Gemini, were the early, you know, precursors to the Apollo program. So, you know, you've always had space suits in the, you know, popular culture, I guess, and sci-fi culture. But these actually, and of course, I'm sure they borrowed from what NASA had out there in terms of trying to design something that looks futuristic. Another thing too is a big problem with spacesuits back then, and all the time, are mobility. So these do look very thin and lightweight, but that's, you know, something the new the latest suits on, the latest plan is to get back to the moon by 2025. But the new suit, I think they're going to reveal the new spacesuit soon. But that's always something they always strive towards, is
Yeah,
getting
NASA showed
something
it.
very maneuverable.
I
I heard
posted it
they're
last
gonna.
week.
Oh, I missed it because I heard they were going to post
Hey
it, and I
Hey
missed
there,
it.
Monkey Jeebus and Christopher
Monkey
Dominguez.
Jesus!
Christopher
Christopher Dominguez!
Good. Welcome.
Great to see you. So yeah, so the suits I think look really good, and of course the ships. That's
Good.
the Anderson's.
I love those sets.
Yeah.
That's his tour de force, is the from the Thunderbirds and Captain Scarlet and all the marionettes. So carries over, but it looks fantastic. Those moon buggies, the flying moon buggies, look great.
Yeah,
And
I
the way
love
they
those
kick up the
flying
dust.
buggies. Yeah.
So they always
Once
add
you get
those.
to know the body of work that goes on with these Anderson people, I think it was Larry who was saying last week, that some of this must be seminal. Some of this stuff must have inspired many people, because just I cannot believe the amount of work, the model making, the engineering, the thought of creating all of these machines. These are so inspired. It reminds me of Cooper. Cooper talking about Captain Kirk's communicator and wanting to put the guts in it. You just look at these machines and you just think to yourself, somewhere someone, some brilliant engineer, some brilliant inventor or innovator, or a combination of the two, really needs to put the guts in these machines. They're so cool.
Yeah. Yes. We talked about it a lot, but I love those interceptors. But I do love those moon buggy thingies too. Those are great.
Yeah.
Yes.
And the way they
Yeah,
kick
they're
up
so
the
beautiful.
dust too, so they make it seem like they're flying, and even though there's no atmosphere on the moon, the force from the rocket engine would still kick up dust. Yep. Hey, Lisa.
Is Lisa
here?
here?
Hey, Lisa.
Let me click on my
Welcome.
thing.
Yeah.
My
Lisa,
dear.
hi, sweetheart.
Hey there, dear. Back to but let's get. I think just get basically into the kind of the meat of the story here, where they go after they go searching for the Omniceptor or whatever. Four guys, and end up in a shootout with it, right? And it killed that one of the guys gets killed. The guy is with Foster.
Yeah.
Foster gets stranded out there. The other guys, can't find him, and they think he's been killed. Obviously, we find out because we jumped ahead a little earlier. We think that Foster has been killed. Straker and everyone thinks they're pretty sure he's gone. Maybe they did, as Admiral Teague had said, or maybe he thinks he kind of jumped the gun or thought a little premature with it, but there we have it. They think he's dead. And they're trying to move on a little bit. They still didn't have the problem of the Omniceptor out there. And of course, Foster's not dead. He's out there. He's in a bad way. He's got problems with his air supply.
He's mostly dead.
And he ends up in a enemy mine type of a situation. Of course, this predates that quite a bit, but with one of the aliens. And again, this is one of the things that's slightly frustrating, not so much with this episode, but things down the road. This is maybe the only time we've ever seen anything in terms of any kind of character at all, any kind of characterization at all in any alien ever. They've insinuated things at times like aliens are doing this or aliens are doing that they could only be doing if they're on Earth involved in things. But we've never seen anything in terms of any kind of communication of any sort with one of these aliens on the show.
True.
Sorry for the spoiler there. But in this one, when they finally meet up, for some reason, this alien decides to help Foster, who needs help, and I can't tell you why. We'll never know. We'll all.
The only thing I could think of is the alien knows he's going to die, and the only way he can survive is
probably thinks
get
he's going
back to the moon base. And
right.
Maybe if he helps him, he can get him back to the base. That's the only thing I could think of.
Yeah, that's what I'm guessing. So the alien decides to help him for their mutual survival, I guess. Right. I mean, that's the only, like you said, that's the only thing that makes sense. Because their enemy, he's the one that started all this, and these their enemies. But it was the Omniceptor destroyed. Maybe it was crippled. It was, I don't know. So they need each other. Actually, because he figures if he made it back to the base, if he helped Foster, he'd be okay. That's probably, you're right. That's probably nails it. So it's a matter of survival for both of them. Survival. And the thing is, they can't really communicate. So it's difficult, but eventually they end up with the understanding, or that they have to help each other. And well, go from there. Talk about that as far as that, because that's kind of the gist of our story. So I'll leave it to the rest of you.
Like I said earlier, I really feel like this was supposed to be some type of self-deletion. I want to use that for the algorithm. Self-deletion mission. He was supposed to act as a sniper.
Kamikaze, yeah.
Yep, kamikaze. Great one, boss. Thank you, boss. Kamikaze mission, and I think what transpires is meant to provoke us to questioning the humanity and what remains of these bodies that have all these organs that are cobbled together. Because it's exactly like the captain said from the very beginning. Captain Clobby said, these beings are heartless. They're absolutely clinical. They're nothing good about them. They're pure evil. And then all of a sudden, Paul comes face to face with one of them. And we're really meant to begin to question the fact that this could be a larger, more complicated story, which is very frustrating because, of course, we didn't get to continue on with this show. So these are questions that will never be answered for us. But certainly for me, for Clobby, for Mark, for others, that's the first thing that pops into your mind is what remains if these are just cobbled body parts, or they're using the human body to put alien parts into, and then treating it with that algae liquid that they use because they have trouble with our atmosphere. So far, though, no one's humanity has survived this process. And evidently, in this case, his humanity has survived. And for whatever reason, we see him compassionate Paul Foster. We see him save the Colonel's life. And the whole setup, I think, is for us to question the nature of what the harvesting and the body part thing does to the aliens, and that there is a possibility that they all aren't these, robotically insane villains. And I think it's to good effect. I think it's
otherwise. Why would it want to survive if it was there on a kamikaze mission?
That's right.
So yeah, I mean, and it's kind of, we have this rather sad and a frustrating type of a conclusion where, when the guys show up, they, luckily they did not expect to find Paul. They were out there to finish up the Omniceptor. They were out there to destroy it, right? And
yeah,
to find Paul, and then they go to save him, and they see the alien there with him, and they think he's, they kind of understandably think he's there for harm, and they end up killing him when Foster's trying to. He can't really communicate well, although he's trying to tell him, no, he's a friend, he helped me. But of course, doesn't go that way.
My friend, yeah.
Yeah, he said he's a friend. Hello, Stephen Ransom, welcome.
Hey, Stephen Ransom. Yeah,
Hey,
Larry,
Stephen.
I'm loving all your comments. Keep those coming.
So, so they helped him, and the alien wanted to live, and it's just so the alien wanted to live, and we unfortunately, it didn't work out that way. These guys shot him. They should have probably known that they should have tried to capture him alive anyway, but they were a little trigger happy.
Yeah, the alien wasn't armed either, so it just I can see why,
but they might have thought that he was responsible for Paul's injuries.
They probably did.
But it's obvious that something happened to the alien. Something switched over, because I agree with Larry's theory about the whole kamikaze sniper thing. And I think, though, it's this old idea of war that is very true. Once you're stuck in a foxhole with someone and you're both injured or you're both in danger, and you don't think you're going to survive, how it draws you together. And I think in this case, it's used to prove that the aliens are capable of feeling. Because, like Cloppy said earlier, in previous episodes, there is no room for any type of compassion or gentleness or even thought. They're almost robotic in their relentless pursuit to get a hold of our bodies and to get a hold of our organs.
Yeah, and it also shows, it kind of reminded me too of the World War One Christmas armistice. They just recently made a movie about that too, but the famous story where the soldiers on both sides of the trenches laid down their arms over Christmas. Someone had started to sing carols, and the soldiers just stopped fighting. It took, I think, 2 or 3 days before they could get them to fight again, because of course you've been fighting this whole time too, in this horrible, trench warfare that goes on forever. And a lot of people are, they're people that, of course you've got horrible brutality in war, but you've also got people that are just there, just, doing what they think, is best or what they're ordered. And so that kind of reminded me of that too, where, you have two sides and kind of they, hey, we're fighting for our side, but maybe deep down each person or each soldier is necessarily not a bad, bad person per se, So that's another interesting way I think you could look at
I agree.
look at this too.
It's our first glimpse into the possibility that there may be some type of individuality, or how contact with human beings could in some of these body snatcher cases awaken that humanity, where you have that encounter where you're like, okay, I don't want to die. I'm going to stay with Paul Foster and I'm going to share my air with him.
That's why I was probably, as much as I really enjoyed the episode, I liked the episode a lot, thought it was great. I think that's what I was want of a little bit more. I wanted at least some sort of acknowledgement later by Straker. I'm sure he made a full report, meaning Foster, but something where Straker addressing what happened, which was, of course, this alien tried to help him. It's a shame that, what happened this way it turned out, but him and Foster, him basically Foster saying, I don't understand why was it trying to help me, and and at least something with both Straker and Alec pondering that. I mean, I'm sure he told them, but you know what I'm saying? I like, as an audience, as part of the audience, to have seen them addressing that, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, and I totally agree with you, because I think that this episode should have been bookended. Like, it should have had bookends in a completely different order. I think that I don't agree with the Fanderson placement of this. I agree with you, Clubby, that it doesn't matter about production order. It's like Mark said earlier, production order be damned. It does not apply to UFO, because here we're seeing some really strong themes emerge, right? Like we have Harrington being really unhappy that instead of just being stuck at her station doing math and code breaking, which is what she specializes in, she's told to go get coffee. Do you know what I mean? And then Nina Barry,
she was mad at that, or
oh yeah, she's pissed. But what's crazy is because Straker favors Nina Barry, she's more his favorite, he tells her to organize the photos. So you can see Harrington giving him like this super dirty look.
Oh, and then, I missed that. Yeah.
Then you have Alec being left in charge on Earth in the basement headquarters. And then you've got Lieutenant Bradley taking over a colonel's position, a position that we previously 100% thought belonged to Gay Ellis, who is also a lieutenant, but she was hired basically more as a thought person than an action person. So I just think that there are lots of themes about power here, about the nature of the aliens, and I just think that it's better left like in the ATV order, like 13th or 14th. And I think that then those incongruent pieces aren't as pronounced. Does that make sense? This is my
Yeah.
first time watching Survival as Ep 4. I always watch it as 13 or 14. And so I just think it's a mistake to put it in this order. I think it opens it up to more scrutiny than is necessary. So for this, I'm going to have to not recommend the Fanderson the Fanderson
When would you watch
list.
when would you recommend putting the, if you were in charge, where would you put this?
I would definitely put it at 13 or 14 because, and I don't want to give out any spoilers here, but Clobby and I have spoken about this off air on our walkie-talkies. I think I talked with you about it too, Mark. We have quite a ride in store for us with Colonel Paul Foster, and the nature of Colonel Paul Foster's relationship with Straker and with Shadow. And just lots of power shifts that I think are better left later. If they're removing Gay Ellis from being in charge, or if she's now just in charge of the offices, I want to know why. I think it's cool that we now know that when the cat's away, Straker's immediately putting Alec Freeman in charge, and I think it actually fits that with what happens with Paul Foster, the why Straker wanted Lieutenant Mark Bradley there first. And I also think that it plays better when some stuff happens with Nina Barry down the line, and we know that's when we discover that Nina Barry is one of Straker's favorites. He's quite fond of her, like he's fond of Gay. So these are two of his power women, his power brains, and some stuff happens later. So definitely for me, I'm thinking 13 or 14. Now I want you to ask Clobby.
Yeah. Well, that's, or was Mike there, or is he had to step out a second?
I don't know. No, he's here.
I think he's on mute. Oh no, he's on mute. Yep.
Boss, you're on mute. Tell me, where would you put it, boss?
Oh, we'll wait till he gets back, I guess, Bill. So I'll go until he gets back.
Yeah, you go. Where would you put it? Great question, by the way. Where would you put it?
I mean, I'm watching it again for the third or fourth time now, so I would have maybe. I can see both points, so I don't think it hurts having it right after Exposed, but I hear what you're saying too in terms of you learn more about these characters, and unfortunately, without getting into more spoilers, or we're kind of inferring we've already said it, that you don't learn as much about the aliens as perhaps you'd like. Not to say that you don't learn some tidbits, but they're very mysterious creatures this whole season. And of course, we know we got Space 1999 instead of a second season of this, and who knows what they had planned. I don't know if there are scripts out there, if they had definite plans for second season that we would have learned about what their plots were. Maybe I'm guessing some of those ideas ended up on Space 1999, but I think this definitely can work as a later episode. Although I think this scene that we're looking at now with his girlfriend, this kind of really gives you a lot of insight into the commander here in terms of his personal life and how he's got to live, and especially what happens in Exposed, which we can't expose the spoilers in that, but there's some hard-hitting stuff in that episode. So those two back to back like this have a hard-hitting punch and really help to introduce his character, and you really like his character or appreciate what's happening. So but it can work later too, if I'm kind of waffling there. But I kind of like it Exposed, and then this episode because of how it illuminates Foster's character. I think that really makes a difference. And the girlfriend actually, I think, regrets it, and then calls out to him, Paul,
does.
and then but he's already gone. But which is kind of heartbreaking there too. So I think it's a nice introduction to his character, because all of a sudden, like, who's this? And without Exposed really gets into how he ends up working for Shadow. So very, very, that's another really good episode. So, but yeah, it's you don't learn a lot about these aliens, which I guess in some ways may be good, right? So it could be, yeah. And Lisa saying only Mark wants clams on pizza. Does that make Mark an alien? I don't know,
Yes.
but yeah. Someday I'm going to buy clam pizza for everyone. You'll try it and you'll love it. You say, "Oh my goodness gracious, how good was this? Can't believe it." But or if not, you can have the pepperoni. But yeah, do only aliens eat clams? Yeah. So, but yeah, this episode asks a lot of questions, which is great too. Which very Star Trekian in terms of or good sci-fi that makes the viewer think. So it's not just a shoot 'em up where Paul figures out a way to kill the alien in the end, or double cross the alien, or they actually work together as a team, and they reach that understanding. They both honor that, and that's why he's so upset that the alien was shot. Plus, also, if you're in a war, you want to interrogate the alien too, or try to find out as much as you can, which is the whole basis of this show, is why they wanted to get the spaceship, because they said they disintegrate in the Earth's atmosphere, so they want to learn as much as they can, or you always try to find the tech and backward engineer that technology to use for your side. So yeah, it's a good start to the show, and watching this early I don't think hurts, but this show really sucked me in right away. Of course, I love Jerry Anderson, so but I found the characters interesting, and it's also, Stryker might seem, maybe offstandish, but I think he's acting as a commander, and he can't let his emotions show too. I think he's really very businesslike about what's happening on the moon base, and losing the commander, and maybe they didn't search enough, but they assumed he was dead, and with your oxygen supply on the moon, no one thought that there was any chance that he was alive. So it's he's not a touchy-feely talking in hallways crying type commander. I can only imagine what some new shows would have
I
done
also
if
believe
they'd
that he
lost a
has
few
had
people.
mac and cheese before.
Yes, he has. He's been able to survive eating mac and cheese. Yeah, I gotta clip that again. Just play that 2 seconds of that. But yeah, that one made me fall out of my chair. So, but yeah, they act like adults here, and you can't God, you can't be emotional like that. You can't let the emotion affect your judgment too when dealing with the issues like these. As much as maybe you'd like to go do certain things, if it potentially could harm more people or hurt more people or endanger the mission, you can't do it. So, but yeah, really, really great episode, I thought.
Sorry, I was muted. Sorry, I was muted.
Oh, you're muted. Yep.
Yeah, it's a great one. I thought it still, again, like I said, had that little bit where we were talking about where I was kind of would like to have a little bit more exposition in terms of them acknowledging at the end that here, this is something different. This is something that went on with one of the aliens that we'd never really seen before in terms of that kind of action. But yeah, it's a great one. Did we rate it yet? Or
oh yeah, let's rate it. Yeah, no, we haven't rated it yet. So
unless you got more to say about it, of course, number one.
No, I loved all the comments. Of course, you guys know that I love you very much, and I very much appreciate being able to talk about this with you guys. Yeah, I'm just gonna say that for me, this is an A+, but I just think that putting it as EP4, like putting it in the prod order, I think exposes it to unnecessary criticism. I think that it's better bookended later.
Mm-hmm.
And so I love it. I think it's great. But yeah, it's got to be ATV 13, Prime 14, not Prod 4.
Right.
That said, this is an A+ for me.
Yeah, I'm definitely going with an A for this one. It's top-notch stuff, of course. It's such a great show. I'm glad more people are seeing it. By the way, people, the mac and cheese references, for those who don't know, is a swipe at the horrible show called Star Trek STD. It's a long story. Won't get into it here. But hey, Darius Munchausen, what's up?
Darius.
Yeah, Darius. Yep. Yeah. Well,
while you're doing that, Mark, I'm gonna meds break. So I'll be right back.
Okay. Yep.
Okay,
Yep,
go
go
ahead,
for it, yep.
honey.
Well, then I'll explain what that reference is really quick. But one of the people who was in training to become a Starfleet captain tells a superior officer, "I was really out of my comfort zone today. I had mac and cheese." And I'm really hoping I'm not having to have that person save me on an away mission. Because, honey, if you're out of your comfort zone on having mac and cheese, I mean, like with Boy Scouts, we had wilderness survival. Of course, I don't do this anymore, but they would give you tinfoil, hamburger meat, and 3 matches, and a tarp, and to go, stay overnight. And of course, it always rained whenever you did that for wilderness survival. So, if you couldn't get the fire going, you weren't supposed to eat the raw hamburger meat. I was able to cook my hamburger meat, but I mean, and you have nothing, so which is really roughing it that bad. But yeah, I can only imagine how the horror of being served mac and cheese and trying to cope with eating macaroni and cheese. I mean, whatever wrote that line in the script, shin kicks all the way. I mean,
I love it
really,
when you
come
say
on.
shin kicks, shin kicks.
Shin kicks, yeah. So so I definitely gave this episode an A. Only thing, I think the alien's motivation, but I think I'm guessing that my theory maybe is correct, that and everyone we talked about that yeah, maybe they decided it was a kamikaze mission, and in the end, hey, I want to survive, so I'm going to work with the human here. The other thing is too, I guess we've already acknowledged that some of these body parts are recycled, so you wonder if there was part of the human, part human, or you're always wondering, maybe there's memories in there. Is it complete alien, or is it part human? So mac and clams. There we're getting cheese right now.
Gross. HB. Shin kicks. Shin kicks. I can't believe I just shin kicked HB. That's never happened before. Your
I think he
agonizer, please.
I think he's shin kicking the mac and clams with the yeah. But now that might be out of some people's comfort zone. Yeah, mac and clams.
Grody.
Yeah. Grody to the max.
Grody to the max, man.
Yeah. So yeah, commented on aluminum foil meals on a campfire are actually really good if you do them right. Yep. It's good stuff. Yep. But yeah, it's yeah, the motivation of the alien, and maybe not learning enough about the alien. Of course, I guess if the alien had survived, then you would have gotten maybe that opportunity in another episode. But yeah, everything's top notch on this show, and yeah, it keeps you wanting to watch it more. So and the other thing too, yeah, why did the alien just? My biggest question: why did the alien just shoot that one shot through that window? You would have think they would have had some kind of rocket weapon, something that could have done a lot more damage, unless they knew
what was it up to? Yeah.
Unless they knew that the commander was there and they were going to take out the commander, the leader of the base. That's the other flaw.
The leader of the pack. Vroom,
Yeah.
vroom.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So that's all
I'm
good.
a child.
Yeah,
I apologize.
yeah. So I think that's the only flaw, minor flaw with the episode that I would point out. So, all right. Well, let's. I think we've watched the slideshow enough. So let me turn that off. But we'll change the dial. Someone who this is the 70s, so someone's got to go turn the dial on this old-fashioned TV here.
It's your turn, Mark.
It's my turn to turn. Oh, and we decided. Wait, we decided what episode for next week.
Oh no, we need to do that.
That will be exposure. Gotta be.
Yeah, that's gotta be exposure, right? But let's check. Yeah, exposed. Yeah.
Exposed. Sorry, exposed.
I hate the Fenderson order. It really sucks.
You could go Faith if you want to go prod order.
Well, no, it ends up being prod order.
It's worse. Well, yeah, it is because this one, yeah.
So it's next one. Fanderson is 5 is exposed. Yep. Let me double check the Wikipedia too. So let's see. Oh. So Fanderson 1, yep. So flight path, survival, Oh, you got to click the. I got to click the triangle. There we go. So exposed. So okay, we all agree exposed is the next episode.
You know what I'm doing right now?
You're emailing me that it's exposed.
No, I'm shopping for cosplay. For
Oh, okay.
I have to buy skinny jeans. I have to buy a brown belt. I have to dye the skinny jeans the exact color of the UFO pants, the skinny jeans. Then I have to buy a fishnet top, but they don't sell them in that color. So I have to buy it in white, and then I'm going to dye it with tea. Tetley tea works wonderful.
Mm.
And then I'm going to put that beautiful thing, I'm going to put it up on the screen. You ready? 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 Look at this. Look what the
Nice.
boss sent me. Look at what the boss sent me. Yep.
I was so astonished to find that.
And
sorry it
now,
took so long to send it, by the way. I apologize.
no, I'm so
I'm-
excited. I can't
I'm
wait.
forgetting.
I'm going to be skydiver crew. Skydiver crew.
Well, I'm not fitting into
Nice.
any skinny jeans, so I can't cosplay
Yeah.
for that.
Word
I'm
skinny and I have nothing in
100%
common.
so excited.
I can't wait
That
to
is
see that one.
fantastic.
Yep.
Yeah.
That'll
Nice.
be good. Yep.
I gotta finish the con one, but I just don't have time because of the book launch. But now that I have this shadow patch, I'm like so
I should get you
excited. I
another. I
can't
should get
even
you another
handle
one.
it.
I should get you another one. That way you could do like a moon-based one too.
Oh yes. Oh yes. I'm having difficulty finding that elastic quasi see-through silver. If I can find that material, I'll do it. Mark and I found a company overseas in Asia that actually does the full Harrington outfit, but it hasn't been in stock for 2 years.
Yeah, it's too bad. Yeah.
Yeah.
Dang.
They're
Yep.
like, oh, we got lucky. We found it. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't have sewing ability to that level. I mean, I'll have to take some sewing classes in order to get that done. I mean, I'm not saying that it's not something I wouldn't do. I would probably do it just so I could do UFO. But you all know my area of specialization is identifying licensed stuff, putting it together, also makeup, and creating things from scratch that has to do with prosthetics and makeup. So
Excellent.
I'm so excited, Clobby.
I'm glad you like it. I wish I'd sent it 2 months ago when I got it. I was so aggravated. 3.5 months ago, whatever it was. I just kept forgetting about it. It's such a tiny little thing, It's like it got stuck with a bunch of other stuff there, and then I kept thinking, "Oh, I need to send that off." So finally, like after 2 weeks of going, I need to send that off. I wrapped it all up in that. What it's wrapped in is a comic book board and bag,
I know.
and then I wrote on it, which is weird.
Number
But then
one.
I knew that would protect it. Yeah, and then I said, so now that's in the back of the truck. I'll put it in my truck. So the next time I'm out, I'll be able to go there and stop by. And then it just got piled up under crap, and I kept forgetting like an idiot. And finally,
You're not an idiot.
I'm a total idiot when it comes to
Don't say
remembering
that, yeah.
stuff. So eventually, though, it finally popped me. And it took 2 weeks for that sucker to get up there.
I know. It's ridiculous.
Now, if that had been considering what that cost to send, if that had been like a comic or a trade paperback, something like that, it'd have been, I mean, wow. I know it's ridiculous, to ship up there, but I don't know. I mean, it would have been, let's take like a normal hardcover trade paper, like the one that our dear buddy Mark C got for you. I got that Trek. I think he got that Star Trek John Byrne, like
It was a John
big
Byrne, right?
It was a big, with a big compilation of all the Byrne Star Trek comics in it.
Mhm.
It's
Yep.
a big, I don't know if it was hardcover or it was
He's a
soft
sweetheart.
cover.
God
He
rest
was.
his soul.
That would have been, that's like a probably $30 book, whatever. I don't know what it is, $34 book. That would have cost about, that probably would have cost 40 or 50 bucks to ship. But, it's a one-time deal. He meant to send it, and then just things going crazy.
You know what? I'm so honored that he reached out to me to talk to me about his art,
Yeah.
about the comic book he was making, about how much he loved tuning into our show and talking with us all the time about all the different things, and just the fact that he even offered. that and just became my friend. And he was just such a kind man. And I'm just so sorry that he passed away. And yeah, his beautiful family, the way that they treated us when we did his tribute stream, and just when I think about his son, how cute his son was, and just, yeah, just it's a very sad thing, but I will never forget how he became my friend. Even though I'm an introvert, that's the thing, we don't make friends easily. And so he just marched right up to my door, knocked on it, and said, "Hey, I'm a big old nerd too. Let's talk." And he was just a very kind and very sweet person. And he was my friend. And yeah.
We always
Thought
miss
that
him. We all
counts.
miss him. We miss him.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed. So I tell you what a great crowd we got here tonight. What a good bunch of friends we got here tonight at the clubhouse. Hope you all are doing very well. Let's see here. We've covered a few things. What do we got going on? Anybody else anything to cover, Mark or whatever? Because we could. I was thinking about starting like a segment in addition to reviewing what we review and what Raquel wants to review. I think I might start something like, what have you watched this week, or what are you watching?
Oh, yeah.
If there's anything you're geek related that you're watching these days.
Well, I watched The Mandalorian, which I thought was an okay kind of fun episode, not not genre breaking, or not Last Jedi level of wrecking.
That's
it's just
so
a fun
new. Somebody
kind of
might
fluffy.
not have seen it yet. They might not want it spoiler even.
Well, I'll just say it's a lighthearted episode. Yeah, if anyone doesn't, or the chat lets us know if anyone cares about spoilers about Mandalorian, maybe just put it in the chat. But just overall, I thought it was one of the problems is Mando's really not our hero anymore. Katie Sackhoff, as much as I like her as an actress, seems like Mando doesn't get to take names and kick butt enough anymore. He's become more of a protective dad versus a merc, So I think that kind of hurts the series. But this episode I thought has a couple of nice points and some interesting things. So, but it wasn't, it wasn't like, oh, I can't wait to rewatch it again. The other day I was feeling a little down over Star Wars. I said, I'm going to watch the end of season 2 again, where Luke Skywalker shows up, and I watched it like 3 or 4 times.
That one scene,
Toronto again. Yeah, just the one scene.
That one scene with Luke. Oh God, me. Yeah. It even got me. I don't know how it doesn't touch you as a Star Wars fan.
Yeah, and that's the Luke we wanted to get in the movies, in the crap rolls. Trying to coin a word of sequels, but in front of it. And because Jedi, I know you don't like Jedi as much as the other movies.
I do now, compared to the sequel garbage.
But when I went to see Jedi that first time, and I apologize, we did sneak on the line. It was Mr. Sand. I shouldn't say the last name. Mr. S will say, who we parked in the parking lot, and there was like a gap in the line. He's like, "Come here, guys." I'm like, what? I'm an Eagle Scout. I can't skip the line. So we got in to see Jedi, and I did that opening scene. I'm just blown away by Luke as a full-powered Jedi. Just love that, kick-ass Luke Skywalker. And we should have gotten that in the prequels, and then hand them off to some new characters. But tell us how the Empire came back. All of a sudden, you've got a million. Star destroyers. How did they show up? So I really that's the problem with the Mandalorian is where that series is going to end up. It's just such a ruined Star Wars universe. I know Dadman is a huge Star Wars fan. He's in the chat, and it's just a bummer. But this episode I thought was not, had some fun stuff, some stuff we could pick on if people didn't care about spoilers, but it really
I don't want to. Since it's this new, I think the show's crap mostly, but I kind of sort of with you, but I don't want to. People might legitimately not want it spoiled.
But I'd give it like a B. I'd give it like a B minus.
It's a high rating for this season. Woo.
Well, for that episode, that episode of Mandalorian.
Carl Weathers directed it, and he did his best. It has some kind of wonky stuff in it, but people are all happy to see Jar Jar Binks get his redemption. Not the character, by the way, just the actor.
Virginia originally heard, I thought, oh wait a minute, Jar Jar Binks is going to be on. Jar Jar
No,
Binks,
but it was just
and it's
What?
actually the actor.
the actor.
Ew.
So the actor Ahmad Best, who played Jar Jar Binks in the in the Phantom Menace and those prequels, he took a lot of horrible. I mean, look, I hate Jar Jar Binks as a horrible character. Jar Jar Binks is the worst, but the actor took a lot of crap. But like, the guy was funny. It's not his fault. He's an actor. He did his job. What are you going to do? Maybe be mean to the guy? And so he took a lot of crap from a lot of people. Well, the actor is in this, not the character. Comes back and he does something kind of cool in it, and everyone's like, oh, because any decent human being would feel bad for the guy the way he got treated. I mean, blame George Lucas for Jar Jar Binks, not Ahmad Best. It's George Lucas's damn fault to make that annoying, stupid character. Misa, not a Jedi now.
Head desk. Head desk.
Oh, I hated
Head
Jar Jar.
desk.
Yeah, who didn't hate Jar Jar? Well,
Yeah.
little 5-year-olds
My kids
didn't,
liked
but
them.
they
My
didn't
kids
know the
liked them,
5-year-old kids. Yeah, but he was the worst. But he was almost as bad as Ewok. In fact, I didn't think you could make. I got to hand it to George.
He's worse
I
than the
didn't think
Ewoks.
you could make
Come
something
on.
worse
He's
than
worse
Ewoks. He might have made something almost as. I hate Ewoks so much though. He was as bad as Ewoks, if not worse. Maybe I'm going to go worse.
I know. The second I saw the Ewoks when they first came out, I'm like, I don't know what this crap is. I'm not watching it, and I haven't watched it.
You didn't go to the theater to see it as a kid?
No.
Oh well. I mean,
You
that
didn't see it
movie
in the
grew on me
theater,
later,
bro.
but you didn't see Jedi. Oh, I was not unhappy with the Ewoks. But the movie has some good stuff in it. But I hate Ewoks.
Wasn't I a teenager when the stupid Ewoks
Well, I was
came out?
19, so you would have been,
Yeah.
a young,
I was
young.
14.
So you'd have been
14,
closer,
15,
a little bit
yeah.
younger than Mark, probably. But not far off. You'd have been a youngster.
Yeah,
but you'd have been old enough to go,
as
though.
a teenager, man, I grew up in the 70s. As a teenager, once you became a teenager in my generation, you definitely didn't go see the Ewoks. That's for sure.
Yeah,
You're already smoking cigarettes and dating boys, playing spin the bottle, and come on, get it together. No, I'm kidding.
Well, I was
Just
like, come
saying-
on, get it on.
No, don't be disgusting. No,
cook burgers and sing Yub Nub.
I could never imagine as a teenager going to
I
a
hated
kids
the Ewoks.
thing. That
Well-
wasn't the kind of kid I was. That wasn't the kind of teenager I was.
Well, everyone back then knew it was supposed to be Wookiees, and they changed it to Ewoks, and it'd have been so much better if it had been Wookiees and stuff. And
I 100% had leg warmers, HB. I 100%
it was the
had
80s.
leg
It
warmers.
was the 80s,
And what
Good
that
night,
was?
Max. Night, Max.
Good night,
Night,
Max.
Max.
Thanks for hanging out with us tonight. Yep.
But anyway, so it was, it was cool. I mean, everyone, thought he was cool getting to see him do something other than that he won't get ridiculed for out of his life because like Jake Lloyd. Okay, he was a crappy actor. He was a child. Jake Lloyd being the kid that played Anakin Skywalker in the first movie, and the first time, in Phantom Menace. But so it's a shame the kid's life got wrecked because people didn't like him. He thought he was a crappy actor. Okay, it's a kid.
His
man.
performance wasn't good, but he's a kid, right? You shouldn't pick on him.
Right, but people.
He really
didn't.
ended up having
It
a
destroyed
lot
the
of
dude's
problems.
life.
Yeah, horrendous. And he was a
it's
cute
a
little
shame.
kid,
Yeah, damn shame. So, anyway, it was nice but there was something else we saw that I guess we couldn't talk about that either. Let's talk about positive stuff. Number one, what do you, other than obviously what we reviewed, those two shows, you've told us to, so maybe you're not watching anything regularly now or no?
I was watching Yellowstone, but I believe that Kevin Costner has ruined that show.
Uh-oh.
I watched, I don't know if they're going to be making any more of the Yellowstone, which is
Are you talking
upsetting.
about because of the season? Because I haven't finished the season, or because of what's happened in real life with him not wanting to do more episodes?
Yeah, the latter.
The latter. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I read. I think it was Tom. Tom put up an article. Our friend, the fine
Midnight's
Irishman from Midnight's Edge After Dark. I think he put up something that I think Tom is the one who put it up, and I read it. And I think that there's some type of there's some type of problem brewing with making Yellowstone. But the Taylor Sheridan guy I literally watch everything he makes. I think it's all good. I think it's really good. I'm watching 1923, I believe it's called right now.
With Harrison Ford. Yeah.
They've even got Harrison Ford doing TV now. Come on, Kevin Costner, stick to the
Well,
show.
And they're the story is great. The storytelling is great, and it's a wonderful ride. I watched the 1886. I think it's 1886. And the reason being that I don't know the names of the shows very well is because these are just different times when you jump into the Dutton family and you sort of see their history, and you get to imagine the Dutton family in every significant passage of history. And so it's quite enjoyable, and I like it quite a lot. But I mean, everything else is really crap. Everything's crap. I'm waiting for that Reacher show to come back on, the new one with the big guy. And I don't really like anything else. There's a new Viking show, but it's not as good as the original Vikings. It sort of seems weird. And it's just basically, it's a lot of suckage. There's really nothing to watch these days, is there?
Not new stuff, at least for me, Marco.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of what we don't want to talk
Anything
about that
you
other
watch
thing.
Anything geeky?
Anything geeky?
Yeah,
it's mainly old stuff
anyway. But yeah,
yeah, I know.
Doesn't have to be.
No, but I'm always looking for.
It could be old stuff. You don't have to be.
I'm trying to think of what I've been catching up on, but unfortunately, I watched that which shall not be named last night, and
Gross.
That's fresh.
If
we're gonna talk about it, you gotta
Gross.
watch it.
Hard.
I hate it when you guys talk about that.
Well, I wasn't naming it. Someone said the word. I didn't say anything.
You mean the filth?
I said that which shall not be named.
Yeah, he did say that in his name. So
right?
Yes.
I mean, give us some slack.
Give me some
it is the Voldemort of the Star Trek universe.
Are you kidding me? Everyone's being assimilated. Everyone's loving the crap but me. I'm the only one that hates it.
Yeah,
I liked the last week's episode better than all the other ones, and this one I didn't think. I think it was I don't want to get too many member berries and too much. Much stuff.
And there's so
Last
much
of Us.
brainwashing going on that it just pisses me off. Because in 1977, if you didn't like a show, you didn't watch it. And if you didn't watch it, you didn't see the commercials, so you didn't buy those products. And each television show was dedicated to that psychographic, that demographic, and you bought stuff, okay? Now, people are so brainwashed by the attention economy that they will actually say to someone, how do you know you don't like it until you watch it? What? Why are you saying that? Are you duh? Like you don't prove it, you don't pay to watch something and prove it by imbibing it and pushing its attention economy metrics to prove you don't like it. It's just, there's no way to win now. And that's how these shows are surviving, is through verbal diarrhea and finger painting in your feces. I know from the interviews that Poopy Stew gave, that Jonathan Fakey Pants gave, that this is not Star Trek. So I don't need to imbibe it to prove that it's not good. I didn't do that in 77. I didn't do that in 87. I didn't do that in 97. And I'm not doing it now. No.
We don't necessarily agree on this. I believe if you're going to have the argument over its content, you have to inform yourself on it, though. You can just say it sucks. You can say, I don't want to watch it. That's one thing. But if you want to argue with someone over the content, you got to know it.
But I don't even want to argue over the content.
No, I know you don't. So that's what I'm saying. You're fine.
It's complete and utter trash.
It is trash.
It is trash.
I'm just saying, if I'm going to get into fights over it, I gotta inform myself.
Well, yes, and I mean, you are our prize fighters, so you get out there and
you
rope them and dope them. But the thing is that you rope-a-dope them. But the thing is, yay pugilism. When I think of the filth, I think we need a handy dandy pugilist to punch it down. But I'm just saying that,
knock Finnegan down. Yep.
these weird conversations where people feel like in order to have an opinion about something, they have to watch it.
No, you're right.
All you needed to do was watch on, like, read the newspaper, read Vulture magazine of Patrick Stewart saying, look, they approached me and asked me if I wanted to do Star Trek. I told them absolutely no way. I do not want to do anything that has anything to do with Star Trek. That chapter is closed. I'm not interested in it. That's a dead story to me. I don't want anything to do with that. And then he says, they come back at him with this idea, and this is all in Vulture magazine. You can go read it yourself. And then they come back to him and they say, look, what if you do this whatever way you want? It doesn't have to be Star Trek. And he says, well, if it doesn't have to be Star Trek, if I can be in charge, even though I'm an actor, he didn't say this, I'm saying this because of how ridiculous it sounds. Even though I'm an actor and I have no experience writing whatsoever, if I can make it just like Logan, and it can be that type of storytelling in that type of environment, then I'll do it. And so from that second forward, and then a couple of weeks later, like 15 different magazines and newspaper articles came out of Jonathan Fakey Pants saying that there's no way in HE double hockey sticks that Gene Roddenberry would have ever allowed the name Star Trek to be put on what he's doing as far as the filth goes. Then I absolutely do not have to watch it. And all of these loony pants people who are all sucked into this attention economy and think they're awesome and they're so informed, and they think that I need to watch it, they're nincompoops. I don't need to watch it. I'll send in my pugilist. I'm sending in Clobby. He's going to clobberonimo your ass, and that's all.
Tim Hayes. No, I absolutely agree with that. In other words, I never say that. I'm not of that opinion that if you have to watch something. I believe that if you should, in that case, because if that's the case, every time you walk into the bookstore and you walk out with 2 books or 1 book or 5 books, but not every single book in the store, then you've turned your nose up. You didn't read every book in the store. You didn't buy every book, so you're snubbing all the other books. That's not how it works. You read about what's on the cover and that's how you get interested. You go, oh, that's something that interests me.
Yeah,
then you pick up other ones and go, that's sort of interesting, but I don't think I want to read that. You pick and choose. So you're not being cruel to the book that you put back. You're not being mean to the book that you put back. You're picking the things that interest you. So no, absolutely. But see, people just say, however, if someone says, hey, did you see the movie so-and-so? And you say, no, it's a piece of crap. Well, you didn't like it? Oh, I never watched that crap. Then they're going to go, well, if you didn't watch it, that's a trick box, and that's different. But if you just say, it just doesn't seem like it didn't really interest me, so I never watched it. And they say, sure, you might like it. Okay, maybe I would, but I didn't watch it. Fine. That's fine. But
you got to watch Stargirl, Clobby.
But if you go and say, that's a piece of garbage, like I do a lot. And then, really? Did you watch it? Matter of fact, I did, mother. And there's why. So, in other words, I got to admit, I won't start the fight unless I've got the ammo.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
You want to fight. And I think that's great. I mean, if I need to call upon a prize fighter, if I need a pugilist, I call upon Clobby, the great Clobbinator. You go clobber those people. But yeah, and I know what you're like. You're not, you're not going to force someone to watch something.
I'm just
thankful.
Thankful you didn't watch.
Number one? What? I'm going to get this out there. You know why, though, number one? It's because of how personally I take the attack on Star Trek. In other words, they've been doing it to a lot of things. When it's Star Trek, I feel like I have to be in there fighting for it. I know it sounds stupid, but when I watch their shitty movie or when I watch their shitty... Now, STD, after about half a season, I couldn't do it anymore. But P-Hard and other ones, I guess I get in there because I think I want to be in that fight for Star Trek where I take it personally when they trash Star Trek. And so I go in there so I can inform myself. on
I
it.
gotcha.
But other than it's just because I probably shouldn't see you are. I 100% wish I was doing what you're doing. You're like, it's filth. I'm not watching anyway.
Smothering it in
I can't-
apathy.
Yes, that's what I wish I was doing. I don't have the strength to do it. I'm not making that up. I'm not trying to sound funny. I don't have the strength in this case of something like what's going on with Bihard or some other stuff, or like when it was the Jar Jar Abrams movies or what have you. I don't have the strength to completely to not look at them and then go after and just. I mean, it's why we're out here right now, because I decided to go to war about it in 2009. But however, when people say, if you don't like it so much, why do you watch it? Why do you watch that crap? No, I fully admit it's the flaw. It's a contradiction. Life's full of contradiction. Life is one big contradiction. And it's so I admit, and I think if you can be at peace with yourself and not have to subject yourself to that shite like you do, more power to you. Believe me, and I'm not just saying that. But I got to admit, there is a part of me that is a curiosity that makes me sit there and subject myself to it, and then I guess it allows me to at least go off on it once I've done it. Maybe
Just the whole thing felt so icky to me, even before the P-Hard thing started. The whole thing felt icky to me, and it felt wrong. And so that's like, this has nothing to do with you. This just has something to do with the people who are, on social media and, have dedicated their whole lives to the attention economy. For me, I knew something was catastrophically wrong when they started treating the characters like they were suits, like that they were super suits. And anyone could be Kirk, and anyone could be Spock, and anyone could be Uhura. I instantly was like, what are you doing? Just stop. What are you doing? And then that weird filth crap came out. And so I rejected the other stuff because I was immediately like, look, that's not a mantle. This isn't a costume that you put on. Spock isn't a costume. But then the other crap came out. And then I watched, Mark, how much of that crap did I watch? I don't even remember. Like 3 or 4 episodes of that disco crap?
STD.
By the way, Ezra Goldstein, shalom.
Ezra, shalom.
It was absolute crap. Crap. It was.
And I've watched it all.
You couldn't even watch it. It looked.
Watched it all. Wow.
It was so. I could not believe what they had done to the Klingons. And for me, especially studying semiology, I was thinking to myself, this is one of the most R-word things I've ever seen in my life. This is the R-word exactly.
Tim Hayes, hey there.
And so I had to shut that off. I just felt like it was the worst thing that they could ever put on TV at such a sensitive time in our culture. I just thought, wow, this is a flaming bag of dog shit. Oops, sorry.
It is.
Bag of dog poop.
Shit. Say shit. Fuck it. Okay.
So it's just, I just, you know what I mean? Like, I think, oh.
Well, I'm just very thankful you did not watch the most recent episode, because there's a scene in it that I think you would have truly thrown something and broken your TV. Probably you would have shin kicked your TV into another time zone. Probably.
It was the greatest thing ever made. Apparently,
Clubby, don't talk like that.
Put it to you like this: you know what? If they want to make a show called Star Trek Museum, where they sit around on the bridge and look at old ships and talk about how
that was
cool
cool,
and play theme music from it and try to get your emotions up. Okay, fair. Hey, Alex Klutzman, I'm calling you right now. I admit it. You can, if you do that, I'll watch your show where you just have your stupid characters sit on your bridge looking at ships at the Starfleet Ship Museum and go, look at this ship here, look at this ship. So you're there for like 10 minutes. I'm like, and they play the music like you're supposed to really get your heartstrings struggling. It worked on people. I saw people on Twitter. I'm like, you want to do that? Okay, it's better than your dumb
member
script.
bears.
At least it's not your stupid script that you have, which is moronic. The way they wrote Geordi, holy crap! But anyway,
when they have when they do relics, you see the bridge. It's got meaning and it resonates.
Right.
Versus
and this
it was a well learned. It was a well learned memory that fit into the episode.
Right. And what they did with Data, oh my, look, they had to find some way to bring Prince Spiner back. I'm telling you, the way they made their new excuse for Data was so such gobbledygook and so weird. And so
And
look,
Moriarty.
you just wanted to find a reason to have him A, not de-aged, B, not even painted with that white, whatever that color he used to be painted with.
Yellow,
he looked like
gold,
Prince
yeah.
Spiner wearing a uniform at the age of 60 or 70, whatever he is. And yet he'll have the mind. He has now the mind of Floor, Data, B4, LOL, all of it. That's in there. And
Can we just start singing the theme to the Golden Girls?
And he's a golem, by the way.
They're all senior citizens now. Thank you for being a friend.
And he's a golem. He's not even like and he's got songs melody in there too. So like he's just this. I don't know what he's a glob of these different things.
Of everything.
Golem type
The
body.
youngest person from that crew now is 67 years old. So they're all on their pension. They all get the seniors breakfast at Denny's. So there's no reason for them to be in an action show, folks. And if you think that these people who have said all of these things about how it could not be anything like Star Trek, and that Gene Roddenberry would never have approved of it, and that they're all, after Denny's, going and saving the world in this action show that happens in the dark. I mean, let's face it, folks. If this were a seniors facility, they would be tripping all over the place. They need to turn the lights on, and they need to stop their crap. And don't use the word Star Trek if it's not Star Trek. I don't need to watch it.
That's
you know
fair.
what I mean? It's kind of like you turn the burner on, and you look at it, and you go, that burner's hot. You can put your hand on it, or you could just cook your dinner in a pot. I'm going to cook my dinner in a pot, shielding me from what I know burns. I don't need to be burned. But if you are sitting at home right now in your cozy little abode, in your sweet little domicile, and you think to yourself, I see that poopy diaper, but I must smell it in order to establish that it smells poopy, I perfectly understand. I just don't go around sniffing poopy diapers. Thank you for understanding.
I hear you. We had to get you rolling on something there. Well, we'll get out of here in a second. The last.
Well, I can mention
Mark, you got something?
Last of Us has been good. All right, so let's talk about some good stuff.
Oh boy.
So I've really liked Last of Us. That third episode was something else. The maybe slightly controversial, but I thought the actors did a fantastic job, and it kind of surprised me. There's an old school. I'd feel bad for these characters. As a grumpy person, but yeah, they really pulled on the heartstrings there. And so far I haven't finished it. I'm up to episode 6.
What is this abomination you're watching?
The Last of Us. It's a video. It's a story based on probably one of the better
TV show about a video game.
Yeah, it's probably one of the better video games out there. It's a PlayStation
Zombies.
exclusive, and what they do, they have the fungus that can kind of take over ants and insects, makes its way into our food supply. So it's kind of a believable scenario where something mutated and it can zombify the population. So it's
Excuse me.
dystopian
Hit my
future,
button.
but yep, that's okay. We've got the Mandalorian in it, Pedro Pascal, who's the one thing that throws me off every time I'm listening to the show, I think, or if I turn my head away, I'm like, that's the Mandalorian there. Wasn't he bring out the Darksaber and take out all the zombies?
Is there another actor they could get for it?
Well, he's good in it. He's good. It's not overly graphic. I was talking to Retro Nerd Girl on Sunday Night Geeker, and we were talking about it. It's not. They don't go overboard. Some of these zombie things they
had I saw a clip of this crap on Twitter. Is this the show where the little girl is hatcheting somebody to death? What do you mean? What are you saying?
Well, hatcheting the zombies maybe, but it hasn't been overly graphic zombie stuff.
So
we're like Walking
hatcheting
Dead
a zombie is not.
Well, there's different levels of gore. What I'm saying is, I'm not a huge gore person, and you're a 0 on the gore scale, right? I mean,
yeah,
you can't handle any gore.
I'm also 0 on the BS scale. So this is one of these transmedia narratives. So
the video game is a brilliant video game. Oh, it's brilliant.
in com
Yeah.
theory, a transmedia narrative is when you take a group of people who, or an IP, like an intellectual property that exists in one medium, and you try and make money off of it in another. So this was a video game, and now it's been turned into a television show, right?
Well, but the best
That
video
happened.
games always have the best stories, and we've been playing video
They have a lot.
games.
They have stories now. Yeah.
So, if anyone remembers King's Quest from the 4-color version of King's Quest on the PC Junior, the Tandy 1000, and it actually had 3-voice sound in 1986 or thereabouts, but it had a good story in it. King's Quest. So you're one of the Roberta Williams, great graphic adventure, basically created the graphic adventure. Pioneering woman in video games. But when I always remember Zork, a text adventure, right? Or some of the Star Trek games, the best games always have a good story behind it. So Last of Us has
Really?
a great.
I like
Oh, God,
Centipede.
Well,
That's a great
they tried to
story.
make a story about Centipede, yeah. But these adventure games or
Pong?
some of these
Does
first
Pong have a great story behind it?
Yes.
yeah, it does, yeah.
It actually does have
I'm
a movie
sorry.
coming out about Pong. Not
I
kidding.
mean, absolutely no disrespect to you, Mark D, with this.
I
You
know,
already
I
know that
know.
I absolutely love you. But this is where the rubber hits the road betwixt the nerd and the geek. I have absolutely no interest in video games. None.
Zero, right? Yeah. So yeah, it's whatever floats your boat, right? So I think it's been. I'm going to get the game for PC, and I think so far, without that, watching the whole season, but and of course, I think it resonates a little bit more with what we've been through the last few years with the vid, and of course, this third episode, they're portraying a survivalist, and he's got he's the government, is kicking everyone out, and he's like, "You jackbooted thugs, I'm not leaving." He's got a secret, basement room, and he's a survivalist, so he has, a gazillion firearms. He puts up a fence, and he's got everything rigged. He's got motion sensors, flamethrowers,
That
and
zombie
booby traps.
zombie
Oh, it was so
scenario,
good.
it never gets old. Like, think about
No.
how many generations have their own zombie stories, where they have this IP that defines their generation, and it's a zombie story. The zombie story, people aren't tired of it yet.
No.
I'm tired of it. I think
Yeah, me too.
I grew tired of the zombie scenario, I think, after my first encounter with it.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, I stopped watching Walking Dead, and I decided to give this one a chance. And like I always say, we always say, if it's something you think you might want to watch, watch the first episode, and if you keep going. I mean, Nick
That's the
Offerman's
big
really
thing
great
right now. You
could actually watch yeah, well, I was gonna say you could actually watch episode 3 and not watch any other episodes, and it's a pretty nice self-contained mini movie. And it it's got a nice moment where he's serving he serves a dinner to someone that's been on the road, and you can imagine the person hasn't eaten a decent meal in like 10 years, and he serving this nice rabbit with pairs with a Beaujolais. So that was there. Funny, there's some funny lines in it, and Offerman is great in that episode. But yeah,
You'd eat Thumper? Would you eat Thumper?
Oh yeah, I'm Swiss. What do you think?
I
we eat
forgot. Yeah,
rabbits all
that's
the
right.
time.
You're
Yeah,
Swiss.
rabbits too.
Sea tongue pizza and barbecued Thumper.
I eat Thumper.
Yeah.
Venison
You eat
chili.
Thumper? I can't
Yeah.
do the Thumper. I
Venison
can't do
chili in my
Yeah.
in my chips and queso that I'm going to get tomorrow at Twin Peaks. It'll have venison chili in it. So.
Oh, venison is deer. That's fine.
Well,
But
Thumper,
I can't do Thumper. Can't do bunny
that's-
rabbit.
Well, that's deer, isn't it? Oh, Thumper's a bunny, right?
Yeah, Thumper's
yeah.
a bunny
Oh,
rabbit.
I was thinking of a. Oh yeah, that's right.
You were thinking of Bambi.
I was thinking of a deer, Bambi. Yeah, I'm
That's
sorry.
okay, darling.
Bambi.
Yeah,
and
I
Bambi.
can't
No,
do the bunny
sorry.
rabbit. The bunny rabbit's going to be a hard pass for me. I try not
Yeah,
to eat
Huston pepper.
rodents.
I've never had.
It's just something. The culture. It's just something you just have, and it's not.
No,
there's no.
Elmer Fudd is
You
the
know,
one
it's like-
likes bunny.
Yeah, he does.
Okay.
He does.
Oh, at least there's
Well-
a cafe au lait. Oh, the cafe au lait is my favorite. Yeah, I
yummy.
love cafe au lait. Yeah.
So
And Big Sky is fun too. We've been watching that with the wife. So Big Sky's got probably the most gorgeous detectives on the show. ever. There's 2 female detectives, and I just brought in another captain. So the wife and I were watching. We're like, this police department, this private detective agency, all has supermodels. But I'd give that show a
nice.
thumbs up. Big Sky, and Only Murders in the Building. I finished the first season with the wife, with Steve Martin.
You watched
and
too
Martin
much.
Short,
Jesus Christ.
Selena Gomez.
Watch so much TV. Think about all the books you could read.
Well, he's married though. He has to.
These are the shows I watch with the wife. So this is my Friday night. We watch TV. So
I love Clobby's response.
I'm just
Well, he's
saying.
married.
He has to watch
He's
new
married.
crap.
But that's pretty good though. Only Murders in the Building was good. It was fun. Yeah.
My mom and dad watch a lot of crap that I would never watch. Mark watches a lot of crap I would never watch. Everybody watches a lot of crap I never watch. But I'm just saying, it's like, man, we were over there
That's why
Sunday.
we get along so well because I don't watch anything.
We were over there Sunday, and we caught some secondhand television we didn't want to catch.
Yuck.
Yeah, it's just some new thing that they'll watch any old thing though.
You were watching Big Brother?
No.
What's that show?
I told you
No.
that show with
I can't remember now.
Bryan Cranston thing. But
the Judge, the Judge show, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What was that called with Bryan
I
Cranston?
remembered a show that I just watched.
Your Honor, season 2.
What?
I watched a reality series that Andrew put on the TV called Outlast.
I don't know.
Is that like
And
you're in
I
the wilderness or
instantly
whatever?
regretted it because it's the most morally reprehensible shite ever put on television.
Oh, is that where they were almost breaking the sabotaging each other? They took the guy's
No,
canoe
there's like one lady who creates a confrontation where she steals people's blankets and they're in the freezing cold
to
in
death, right?
Alaska in the winter. And she says, what are you going to do about it? And so on and so forth. I'm not going to say on air what I would have done about that, but I will tell you, it is the most morally bankrupt, ethically reprehensible, disgusting display. Do not watch Outlast. And if you do, immediately tell me what you thought of it, because that woman is a real person. She did that in real life, and so did her little friend. They are both.
But is that the fault of the show or the
earth.
fault of humanity?
Listen, it was the fault of 2 people who are the scum of the earth, absolute bottom feeder. These people make catfish look elevated. Horrible, horrible human beings. Horrible.
Yeah, but I mean, if the show is showing how bad they are, aren't they going to get their just desserts, I guess, in the end? Or
Howard and a snake in a wagon rut. The pair of them. Just absolute awful people. Outlast. Terrible. Don't watch it.
Wow, I don't watch anything except old stuff. I'm a 12-year-old. I watch cartoons, folks, and it's old cartoons at that, because they don't make good ones. So
Commandi. I just watched Commandi, right?
Oh, you did?
Far worse. JT Kirk is talking about something called MILF Manor. Now, what in the HE double hockey sticks is that about?
Good Lord, we don't want to know.
Can't
I
say.
know I've heard of it, but no.
I know what it is, but it's about, just say, moms that are looking for love in all the wrong places.
That's
another. That's Leisure Suit Larry game title for another throwback. An old style video game, Leisure Suit Larry looking for love in all the wrong places. Another crazy adventure game. Yeah. So it's I never wanted. I can't say it. So, and Dad Man's got a member chat here. Let me share the screen so I can post that. Let me just share.
You watched Commandi?
Yeah, it's great stuff. Yeah.
What's Commandi?
The short.
I'll talk about that because but you want to do that first though? Yeah.
Well, here's the Dad Man. Yeah, here's the Dad Man. Yep.
What is this?
Raquel, tell us how you really feel.
Man, that's a pet peeve of mine. That joke.
I know.
I'll let Dad Man get away with it.
Dad Man can do it. Right?
One of these days, you'll have to let me expound upon how I hate the old "tell me how you really feel" joke. Because it's so. Never mind. It drives me crazy.
I'll show some pictures from Commandi.
It carries the presupposition that everyone falsifies their feelings once they're said aloud.
That's not why I hate it. Oh, go ahead. Why do you
Yeah,
hate
I'm
it?
just saying,
No, I'm-
just speculating.
I don't have any. I have yours is way better than mine. Mine's just because it's annoying because everybody does it, and it's not
Yeah.
funny. It's like, yes, Kirk said it in Wrath of Khan. It was great when Kirk did it. It's not funny when anyone else says it.
Yeah.
Just me. It's the dumbest, lamest comeback I've ever heard of anything. Not
It is
not
lame.
knocking you. By the way, Dad Man, don't feel attacked, buddy. Everyone does it, but me.
Yeah.
You're perfectly fine.
Larry and I are coveting your Mustang.
No, it's
Well, that's
nice.
not my Mustang. That's John Wick's. And do not steal that car. It won't end well for you.
Oh.
Safety tip. I do have a
So
67 Mustang though.
We were talking about recently, everyone, and we got to get Raquel out of here. She doesn't know it, but she's
It's a
late.
school
gotta go
night
eat.
and it's 11:30.
I tried.
Oh my god.
Look, I made the mistake of asking you both the question when I should have got you out of here. So blame me, but I do try to get you out of here. You got to admit, I try, and there's no chance in hell as soon as I ask one question.
And
I
I didn't
tried.
even name this
Listen,
series, and we ended
I
up
don't-
talking
look,
about it.
You two are the married ones. I have nowhere to go and nobody to answer to. So your asses are the ones that are behind the 8 ball. I can be up to 5 in the morning. It don't matter.
Oh,
So
I
just
love
let
you.
know. So let me all right, let's explain this. DC animated movies, they have these short films that they've been putting these before the DC animated DC animated straight to DC films over the past 20 years or whatever. Occasionally they do these little short films, and they're better than the main feature usually. And this was one based on Jack Kirby's Commandy, one of his great creations that came out about 2 years ago before the Justice Society animated movie. And Mark and I were talking about these the other day, and he found them. And now, Mark, just tell us about what you saw, the Commandy short, which is like about a 20-minute, or maybe lying
About
that
20
it's like-
minutes, yeah. It's like reading a comic book issue, basically.
I'm not gonna
which is-
lie. This name sounds like a brand of panties or underwear for like older ladies who need
Well,
like a little bit of tummy control.
Well, there's
Buy
a
the
reason.
Commandy now.
How dare you besmirch a Jack Kirby creation?
Sorry, it's just funny.
You're getting put in a
Commando,
timeout now.
You know. Anyway, sorry. I apologize.
So actually, what happens is
He was raised on a bunker called Command D. And so
yeah,
that's how he got
Command
the name.
D. Yeah,
He's the last boy on
is
Earth.
it a plague? There's a plague that hits Earth, or is it a?
Right.
It was
He's
a
the
It was
far-flung
radiation.
future. Yeah.
Yeah, there's radiation that
It was
wipes out a
something
lot of
happened
people.
at the sun, actually, but it's a long story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's a comic book series, but what's striking is how gorgeous the animation is, and
It
of course
looks
it's Kirby.
so Kirby. It's so
Yeah.
Kirby.
It's all
It is
Kirby,
very
100%, which we didn't get with the Eternals, unfortunately. So you look at this and you just recognize, you see the character. You know, that's a classic
I love
Kirby
this.
squiggle there. You know, in the uniform, you just know that's Kirby with those graphics there, and they
was very faithful to the
went all
comic.
out. Well, they went all out, Jack, thankfully. So,
Yeah, I loved it.
we got Kirby
Nice.
in animated form, and the story is good. Now, basically, it's a trial for
It's based on an
Commandy-
issue, Commandy number 29 by Kirby.
So is this a cartoon that's on television right now?
It's let's see here. It's
HBO
on-
Max, maybe.
HBO Max has some. I don't know if it has this one, but like I said, it came. They've done these. They've been doing for many years now. Straight to DVD animated movies.
Okay.
DC of various forms, different characters, and sometimes they do these shorts before it, like this, which you
Mhm.
get before the movie. And
Right.
that's this was
Well, the
one
old
of them,
days used
but-
to get animated shorts before you
Right.
watch the movie. Before you got a
Okay,
half
so
hour
guys,
commercials, you
but
got
this
This is
a
super,
couple years
super
ago.
important. Focus. Larry is asking specifically where he can get this, like immediately.
It was on the Constantine movie that came out. The Constantine.
No, it was on
House of
Justice
Mystery?
Society. It was on Justice Society.
I got it off of Constantine.
2021.
Oh,
No,
they put it on
there.
both though. They put it on. Oh, they put it on Constantine
Really?
again too. I guess. Yeah. So
Okay.
it was on both. That's what people were complaining about the Constantine
Okay.
short, because they had. So you can get it two places.
Common Nerd said it's on HBO Max. Thank you, buddy. He said it might still be there. I don't know, but it is a short.
Say
And,
that again, Clobby. So it's in 3 places. It's on HBO Max.
Well, it's on the DVD Blu-ray of the Justice Society for 2021. It's a Justice Society movie, which was not very good in my opinion.
Okay.
And Mark's saying it's on that new one for Constantine.
Yeah.
and
it's
Larry is
Constantine.
coming back with Constantine animated question mark.
It's a movie.
Yeah.
This is an animated Constantine movie.
Yeah, what was
based
it
on
called?
it's a
He's
sequel to
like
Justice
into
League
all the
Dark.
same stuff we are.
House of Mystery.
yeah, he
Constantine
knows.
House of Mystery.
Larry knows his stuff. Okay,
Yep.
so this is a new DC Showcase because it's called these shorts are called DC Showcase. So apparently
Okay.
they
Yep.
put a bunch of them on there on the House of Mystery Constantine one. So you say, but also, excuse me. So those are the two ways we know it's available. Now, our buddy Common Nerd says
For
he saw
sure.
it. Well, our
Yeah,
buddy
see,
Common Nerd says
included see Commandi.
right, but our buddy Common Nerd said he saw it on HBO Max.
Okay,
Cool,
I
yeah.
need you to do me a favor immediately, Mark. Can you please
Sure.
go on Amazon and can you please identify the best copy of the Constantine whatever with this animation on it? And can you please make sure that it's for
Casa
the
Mysterio?
American region because Chris Persia's not here? And can you please give the URL to Larry? That's what he's
Yeah, let me
actually
check
looking
it.
for.
Yeah,
He
yeah,
just
tell me.
La
He'll
Casa
go buy it.
Mysterio. See, Mark, this is the one I was talking about that had the Jonah Hex shorts.
Okay, gotcha. Yep. So yeah, so unfortunately these days too, they're not giving you all the information that are on these. You know, there's multiple copies, so sometimes you don't get all the right information. So let me go to the
Amazon.
I am on my other screen, so I always
Oh,
wanna,
okay, good. Oh, I love you. Thank you.
yeah, I always
Well, no,
wanna-
it's just because like Larry, a few times now, when you've given him the direct URL, it like I remember one time you gave him a direct URL to a thing you found and it was like $20 cheaper than if we were all trying to Google it, and we all tried to Google it, and your URL worked. So I just want to make sure that Larry
yeah, let me
gets
see if
to
let me
like
find it. Yeah.
where he needs to go.
So yeah, well, Justice
There you
League
go.
Dark was one,
Well,
but
that's
that
a
didn't
physical
have it.
copy, so he's got to get that Justice
Yeah.
Society or
Let's see, movies and films. Constantine, City of Demons, and that was in it. Oh, here, House of Mystery, DC Showcase Shorts, House of Mystery. So let me put this link in. I'm going to shorten, do Bitly here because this link
they
is
need to
forever.
do a big set with all the DC Showcase shorts.
Yeah, that sounds like a really good idea.
They need to, damn it. And they got that Blue Beetle one's great.
They probably will.
Yeah.
I guess it's someday they'll probably do like a full, full version of it.
Donnie says, I still don't mind Member Berries, not by a long shot. I'm not sure why.
Yeah, I don't know what you're
for
referring
Star
to,
Trek,
but
maybe Star Trek.
I mean,
yeah, for
I don't mind them either. Just
Are you time traveling, Donnie
gotta be-
Pearson? Larry,
might be.
Larry, that
it could be.
URL is up.
he could be on a
And
different
Larry
point of
said
the stream.
physical copies only.
yeah,
It
this
could
is
be-
physical. Yeah,
He could be on a different point of the stream that happens. Yeah.
Yeah, I think he's time
Yes,
traveling.
Larry, that's it. It's on the Justice Society World War II thingy for sure. It's on that one.
Oh, and it's only $14.99. Good.
yeah. So see here, plus 3 more shorts.
But I don't know
Last
what you
Point
oh,
Earth, The Losers, Blue Beetle.
Yeah.
Blue Beetle's on that one too.
Special
And that's
feature.
for your region?
That's weird that they put
Yeah,
those
that's
back on there.
USA. Yep.
Okay, good.
Larry, let me tell you something. The Losers one's okay. The Commandy one's great. The Blue Beetle one is great as well. If you're a fan of, man, there's so much Ditko in that. It's the Blue Beetle one is done in the style of the old '60s Spider-Man cartoon, but it's a throwback to that. So it's in addition to being about Blue Beetle and those old Charlton comics, it looks and feels like the old Spidey cartoon from the '60s. It's got a silly song, opening song like that. It's so much fun. I love that Blue Beetle one. It's the best one they ever did for me. That's great. That one there. Look at it.
With the
Even
question,
look at the
yeah.
artwork. Look at the art. It even looks sort of like the old Spidey cartoon.
Yeah.
Just wait 1 second, guys. So Larry says that F streaming. I totally agree, Larry. I think streaming is a giant scam. It's just a way to get more money out of us than they got out of us through cable, through this a la carte thing with no advertising. They don't have to struggle to bring us to them now. We go to them and just give them money, usually directly from our bank accounts. It's messed up. So I totally support your boycott of streaming. Then Larry just says this, and this is important. So Boss Man, please listen. He says,
yes.
Just one Commandy short available, ? So
Yes.
is there anything else out there that's good?
Well, there's the Commandy one. There's the Blue Beetle one, of course. I like the other ones. And the short, as far as the DC Showcase shorts go, these are the ones I recommend. Blue Beetle, Commandy. A few years back, they did Jonah Hex. They did the Spectre, but it was based on the old Aparo Fleischer Spectre. They did. They did a. Oh, damn it! Why am I drawing
Here's
a
the
blank on now?
Spectre. Adam Strange was
did it-
not that good.
No, Adam Strange wasn't that good. The Green Arrow one's really good. I thought the Catwoman one not too good. The Superman Shazam one's fun.
Good. Yeah.
The Superman Shazam one, Sergeant Rock, it was fun. It was kind of cool. Did you see that one?
I haven't seen
That was
Oh,
I
kind
don't
Sergeant
know,
Rock
but I'm
was
going to
good,
tell
yeah.
you right now that I love it when the
Losers.
show turns like this. I love it when the show turns like this. It's so much fun. I love when the show turns
Aw.
like this.
Oh, well, thank you. It's just we get excited about this.
DC's definitely got some great animation. I have to say, Marvel animation for the
So
most
just
part.
the one
is
commandy.
not good.
Just to be clear,
Yep.
guys, there's no other nice commandy out there. That's it.
Well, the only other
That's it.
yes, there is actually. On the wonderful, brilliant show Batman: The Brave and the Bold, which one of my favorite shows. Commandy is on a couple of those episodes, and he's very Kirby-esque on those as well.
Okay.
So I love we get to see some cool Commandy. There's a whole, it's like
Okay.
one of the teaser episodes for that, and then a whole episode where he teams up with Commandy. So that's fun.
Okay.
The death one I thought was very well done too. I mean, it's
Death
some
was pretty
people don't
good.
like that.
That was pretty.
Some
well
people
done.
might not like that
Sandman.
character, but Sandman. So, but if you like Sandman, but that had a great message.
Sandman's
with,
ridiculously dumb.
Yeah, but this version of Death
This
is the
is
one
good,
what should have been on
Oh,
that
okay.
stupid show.
I
This is the
remember
one-
remember
comic.
the debacle that was the Sandman series when Mark was talking off air with us, and he was mentioning all the things that were coming to Netflix that might be interesting, or some Prime or something. And I heard him say Sandman. Then I made the mistake
Oh,
of
boy.
watching that complete and utter poopy diaper. It was so bad. It was so bad. I shut it off mid-show.
So you
Damn
wanted
it.
death
Yeah.
to take you, basically.
Yes. Oh, Death. But
Sergeant
well,
Rock
again,
was good. Yeah.
we'll go ahead and start moseying on out of here, folks. I was just going to
Yep.
talk about one thing, but this was better. So I'm only watching. I watch UFO and I watch our Deep Space Nines that we were reviewing.
Yeah.
And then I watched the Real Trek episode last night to celebrate Shatner's birthday. I was looking
Oh,
at random.
wow.
You know what I do at random? I'll go in there and I
Yeah.
go, meeny, meeny, miny, mo, and I land. I said,
What'd you pick?
Shore Leave.
Oh,
Because
I
it was
love
one of the
Shirley.
Kirk one. God, I love it so much. Jimmy Boy!
Oh my
Jill,
gosh.
Jill uses a random number generator to calculate which
wow.
Star Trek episode to watch.
Oh,
Very
wow.
mathematician of her. Yep.
The Common Nerd says that the Sandman series was rough. And now our wonderful friend Larry is saying, "Where's Blue Beetle disc? Can we get
It's
him
on
the
that one.
URL?"
It's on that House of Mystery one, didn't you say?
It's on the House of Mystery. Yep. That's on the Constantine House of Mystery.
Not
So
that.
it's
you
on the
can't-
same disc?
This
Not
one.
that Blue Beetle.
Yeah, because they're short, so they're only like 20 minutes. So you get four shorts.
short.
Good. Okay,
Yeah,
Larry,
it's like-
you don't have to buy another one. It's already on that one.
It's on there with Commandy, so you can get it on there. Yeah, that's great stuff. Yeah, you'll love
I
the Blue
love
Beetle.
Larry so much.
Larry,
good
you'll love that Blue
resource.
Beetle.
What's
Yeah.
it called? Blu-ray. What's the Blu-ray review site?
I don't
I'm
know.
trying to remember. You go to the website and it's either Blu-ray.com or I'm trying to remember what it is, but it's got all kinds of reviews on media. But and the good thing is they'll tell you what's what's on the disc. So I'll try to find it before we get out of here, and I'll.
And
put it in the
Larry
chat.
says, "Okay, thanks, gotcha." I love Larry. Isn't it cool to like
Question.
old school shop with
Yes,
people
sir.
who are like into like
Yes,
good
ma'am.
things, like quality things? Larry never shies away from quality things. I just appreciate his taste so much, and the way that I wish the whole world were more like Larry, because then people would still feel that books are important and that owning a movie is important and that having that beautiful record from when Pavarotti was performing in Rome in the 90s. And if you have all those things, like they're such beautiful things. And people say, oh, it's on the cloud. Well, on the cloud, it just means that it's on somebody else's computer when it really gets down to it. So you don't own it. You don't have it. So anyway, I just
They can
love
change it for you.
Larry's affinity for what's real and for taking care of artists and artistry. It's just very cool. Thank you, Larry.
All righty.
Oh, and so check out the Digital Bits. That's what website I go to often.
Digital Bits. Do you have the
Digital
URL?
Bits. I just posted in the chat.
Thank you.
So,
How come I don't see it?
There it is. It's slow.
Darn it. Oh, there it is.
It's StreamYards is slow. Yeah. So check out those Digital Bits, not anyone else's Digital Bits.
Yeah, there we go.
Well, oh, and I know we're getting out of here, but I did create a Captain Infinity time seal of approval. Let's see which one looks better.
I'll do what I have. I will do what I'll do my business next week. This will be for 3 hours if I don't get out of here.
So that's for Captain Infinity.
Don't worry about it.
Sorry.
So funny.
Jesus Christ. I like this one. This you can see better. Wait, no. Yeah, this one's darker. There you go. Captain Infinity and beyond. Nothing. No, we're good. I'm just saying. Man. Anything else? Oh, look, I can do this all day. You're the ones in the.
So that's why you're the captain. Yeah. I got my bag of chips here. I'm okay.
Can you please put Mark at the brig?
Let's see. How do we do that? No, we're good. I'm fine.
Get those nerds! Nerds! What?
Hey, everyone in the chat. I love you all so much. HB, the Commodore, Larry, JT Kirk, like all of you, Lisa, Donnie Pearson, everyone who showed up tonight. I know I'm missing a million names, but I love you all very much.
While you're at it,
you were great company tonight. Good night, everyone.
Final words, number one. That's what I was about to ask anyway.
Just that, boss. And
Sure.
Thank you, Mark D, with a C, for your company, and thank you for helping our friend Larry, who is just a fabulous human being. And my captain, mon capitaine, I love you so much. Thank you for the beautiful UFO shadow patch. I will use it wisely, and I will cosplay with it. And I love you so much.
Maybe you'll get another one. Maybe you'll get another one soon.
Oh, I love you, honey. Don't do that. Yeah. It's so expensive. I love you.
You never know. All right, Mark.
Oh, well, just thank you for the hangout tonight. Just always awesome. So much fun. Yep. I'm trying not to laugh too loud. If I wake up the wife, then I'm really in trouble now. Talk about the couch. I'll be watching Last of Us for the rest of the night on the couch. So,
good night, Ezra.
Good night, Ezra. Thank you.
Chat is always awesome. All our buddies in the chat. Thank you for. It's like you're in our living room with us, hanging out, or in the comic book shop. So
yeah,
a lot of fun, and always look forward to this. So yeah, and thanks for the 600 subs. So
yes,
much
congratulations.
Appreciate it. Yep.
Yeah,
and you guys all a big part of that, and just having fun here. So that's all good. So I'll try not to snarf my way out of here. Join the clubhouse. Yeah, join the clubhouse. Yep. Snarf, laugh, like because I'm laughing too hard.
Snarf is isn't that from Thundercats?
Snarf?
Yeah, well, Snarf is a character. You snarf. You know that saying, right?
No,
snarf. That's a Thundercats or something. I don't know. Snarf. Snop. As Claude says, it's snop, but that's from something else.
I'm not gonna snarf my way out of here. Oh yeah, Minimus was here. Minimus.
Yeah. Well, they're all here. So we'll get everyone properly shouted out Saturday night, of course.
Yeah, we're not going to discuss what snarfing is. It'd be too long.
Don't.
No. Well, we could. No. So anyway, let me do some show notes and then and then we'll get out of here. Or we can stay. It's up to you. Like I said, I got time. I don't know about you.
Dadman wants a 24-hour stream.
Saturday, 1 p.m. Central Standard Time, I will be a guest proudly on Latino Slant. My good buddy Paulie and a couple other fellas. We'll be talking some DC comics and movies and different things like that. Strange Marvel Theories. Well, hello there, Strange Marvel Theories. I like that. I don't think we've seen you here before, but welcome. Too bad we're on the way out, but I'll tell you what, I'm honored to see you here. And I like that name, Strange Marvel Theories. That is cool. Whatever. I'll have to check if you have a channel. We'll have to check into that and have everyone take a look at it because I like me some Strange Marvel Theories. I like Marvel Theories in general, strange or otherwise. So let's see here. What we doing? Okay. Yeah, so Paulie's Latino Slant Channel, 1 p.m. Central Standard Time. My friends, we're talking some DC movies and different things like that. He's got a fundraiser going on that day, and looking forward to it, talking some comics. He doesn't usually talk comics, so it'll be interesting. And Strange Marvel Theories became a member. All right.
Yeah. Awesome.
Welcome to the group, Strange Marvel Theories. Appreciate
One of
that.
us.
Thank you. Absolutely, isness. And then Saturday Night Star Trek, as always, folks. Saturday Night Star Trek number 111. This will be the ending of season 5 of Star Trek Deep Space Nine. Only 2 review episodes that night, but we will wrap up the season, best and worst, good, bad, and ugly, as Raquel likes to say, and of course, season ratings and hanging out, basically wrap party for season 5, and then on to the rest, on to the war-y stuff. There's of course Sunday Night Geekery, which Mark, I don't know if Mark mentioned it or not. Did you mention that?
I didn't mention it. No, it was
Sunday Night Geekery. We got it covered. Yep. We got you covered. 10 p.m. Eastern time on Mark D with the C's great channel. He will put a link in the chat there. If you haven't subscribed already, please do. We like to geek out and talk about. It's about geekness, but somehow it gets food related sometimes. So come hungry, or actually probably eat before you show up. You know, don't show up on an empty stomach.
Right.
Or come back and chips and chocolate like the boss does.
That's what it is.
If you're gonna show up, bring a bag of M&Ms
food.
And a bag of sour cream and onion chips, or sour cream and cheddar chips, or something.
Whatever you want to bring, just bring something to eat. And share. Make sure you bring enough for everybody. Yeah. Monday night, Mark C. Comics Talk, 9 p.m. Central Standard Time. The great Stone Loki will join me for another CLOBBERIN DC animation review. We will review the DC animated film Justice League Crisis on Two Earths. Then of course, the standard shows throughout the course of the week. And a week from Monday night, Monday night Mark C. Comics Talk, I will we'll count down my top 25 all-time favorite episodes of the great, magnificent cartoon Justice League / Justice League International. Going to be a lot of fun. Love talking about that wonderful cartoon. Talk too much about cartoons around here, don't we? Like a bunch of children. But that's just the way we are, children. So, well, everybody, I'll shout our wrenches out, and then we'll get out of here. And we'll, because we love them, and whether they're here or not, they get the shout. That's, of course, the great Eric K. and his pupper, Chris Persia, D-Bud Martin, Lord Thoth and Lady Thoth, and their puppy, and J-Man, and Hungry Boy, and Kal-El, and Maddie's Daddy, and Phantom Outsider, and everybody else who is here with us tonight. We thank you so much. You've all been fantastic. What a great time in the clubhouse. And, of course, I cannot thank enough most wonderful first officer in the fleet, who's just the best. Commander R.M. Briggs, I love you. You make my life more fun than you could ever even know. And the great Mark D with a C, the great chief engineer, has been as great a friend he can. You not even know what a great pal he has been. All of you. Mm-hmm. And all of you the same. You've all been good buddies as well. So thank you. And, hey, have a spectacular remainder. Not remainder of your week. How about have a great weekend? I knew I'd get it right eventually.
Clobber-animal!
Indeed. Good night, everybody. What she said. She said this, I think.
Clobber-animal! It's clobbering time!